Salute. The streets are buzzing. New York Knicks go down in Toronto, 87-90. A crazy game, fellas. I'll get your initial opinions, but the New York Knicks battled to the end. It was a heartbreaking, game opportunity to win it at the buzzer. Julius Randle's 3-pointer rimmed out. They fought back, but there's plenty to chop up tonight, fellas. Divine, how are we?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Salute, Shah, salute CT. Tough, gritty fight, but just came up a little short, man. But I'm happy with the fight they had in them, man. Other than they let the first quarter get away from them, man. But great effort. I know we got a lot to chop up about, but there's a lot of positive I've seen about it tonight. Unfortunately, we just came up on the L side tonight, though.
Yep, facts. Sharp hours.
Very interesting game tonight, man. To come back from 20 points and outscore the Raptors the last three quarters was a very inspiring part of the game. On the other side, we did take a loss tonight, and aside from that, man, we have a lot of chop up tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, fellas. It's going to be a show with a lot of talking points, but we got to start there, I guess. The New York Knicks starters are all in minus again. We'll pull out the box score later and give the grades. But initial reactions, the New York Knicks starters again came out all minuses, and the bench players all plus. Divine. Tibbs went with a 9-man rotation. Came out slow out of the gate. Nerlens Noel struggled. We gained back some ascendancy by fighting back, but that they're going back down by 20. In a very low scoring game. Was ultimately our downfall.
Yeah, absolutely, CT. That's like seems like that's our Achilles heel right now going in the season, man. It seems like we got to get down before we get up. You know what I mean? And it seemed like it just been like that on a lot of the losing games. We come out the gate, and to me, we just got to come out the gate with some defense intensity. You see what happened when that defense picked up. It was like only 20 points a quarter for that team, you know what I mean? And we got to come out the gate like that, man. And we just got to figure it out. I do think that it's not a one person blame thing, but it maybe it's just that what they starting with is just I don't think they got the energy on the defense end. You know what I mean? And I just think that's what the problem. I don't think Fournier got the energy on the defense end. I don't know if these guys come out with that tenacity out the gate. Like let's lock this shit down before they even start this thing. So pardon my language. But I think that's where the problem lays at to me, CT. They just coming out with no defense in the first quarter. They're giving up 30 points a quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharp hours, obviously can't really blame one particular player, but Evan Fournier and Nerlens Noel struggled in that starting unit. But interestingly, Fournier closed the game out.
Yeah, they needed him for shooting at the end of the game, but with those two people that you just mentioned, I hate to say this out loud, man, but I wouldn't mind not seeing them the rest of the season, man. Those two guys tonight. I mean, Fournier is my guy, man, but he's just not making the. I don't know what to say, man. And Noel had a couple of good shots tonight. I think the highest points he scored all season, 6 points or something like that. But tonight with him on the floor, they got out rebounded, and the starting unit with those two guys on the starting unit, man, it didn't look good to me tonight. No, nothing. They didn't come out with nothing. After that, once they turned up once they heated it up and got it after that first quarter, man, that second unit, that mismatched second unit that Tibbs puts in is electrifying, man. And I don't know. We all say this a lot. Obi needs some more time, man. Obi needs some more time on that floor, man. I think this was his career high scoring for the season so far this year, double digits in rebounds. I don't know if I want to see Fournier or Noel back in that starting lineup.
Yeah, it's interesting, to come back and fight like they did. It was energy from the bench that got us back in, but it was just getting up in dudes. Again, we just come out lackadaisical. But look, probably Nerlens Noel. I'm going to say out of the Fournier Noel divine, Noel had a horrible first 4 or 5 minutes.
Abysmal. Abysmal. And then thank God when they subbed him out, Mitch came in and turned that thing around on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I thought he should have did was brought Mitch back out in the beginning of the third quarter. I was like, he was playing a more solid game than he was. Like I was saying earlier, his offense rebounding is something, man. But you know what? I guess I say this about every stream. You got to start Obi Toppin. You got to start that dude. You know what I mean? He get buckets that other guys can't get because of that speed down the floor, the transition. I mean, man, listen, with he's 19 and 10, only thing Fournier not doing that. No knock off Fournier, but he does a jump shooter. He put the ball on the floor occasionally. But man, Obi Toppin, he'd be all over the place. And I just think you need energy like that, man. So, other than that, Noel, I guess he's trying to find his way back after that, being out for so long and everything. But that first quarter to me, Shaw Powell, I see him give up. Boucher was eating to get lunch. Then right after Boucher, somebody else, I think it was Siakam or somebody took a lunch. I'm like, man, come on, bro. That ain't the Nerlens Noel I'm used to seeing. So he had a tough first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't aside from Fournier hitting those, I think it was 2 or 3 3-pointers in the first quarter. What else did we see from him really tonight? And I like Fournier, man. I think he in that second half he started getting nervous with his shot again, come around the thing and waiting for the defense to catch up to him before he shoots the ball. And Noel, I don't think we've seen Noel the rest of the game after the third quarter. Did he come back in? Oh yeah, the third quarter he came back in, but the whole fourth quarter he wasn't there. I didn't see him. I don't know.
And shout out to Mitch, for having a decent game. He stuck with it. Maybe Jericho could have had some minutes, but I'm glad they didn't bring Fournier until later as well. Our defense had it. To me, it was just that we were just unable to secure that rebound, man. How many of those long rebounds did Toronto get? That back-breaking 3, Divine, from Gary Trent. Mm-hmm. If we were able to secure that one, man, it would have been a tie ball. Well, I think we were up 1 when he hit it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know what? And that's because of the lack of size. You know what I mean? The lack of size. It's like you got to pick your poison. If you're going to go small, you're going to lose on a rebounding edge. And if you go big, you might lose with the 3-point shot. You know what I mean? Because other guys are knocked out, so you can't get out there. But you got to put a little height in there. You know what I mean? And I just think that we're a small team, man. Other than Mitchell Noel, everybody under 6'10". Other than Jericho Temple, obviously. But and we get our rebound a lot because we don't rebound by committee. If we don't rebound committee, we're gonna lose a lot of rebounding games. You know what I mean? And I think that was just big, man. For them to be able to and make it so bad, CT shot. And I think I spoke about this earlier. That's why I always like Mitch in there when they shoot jump shots like that. You know what I mean? We're in the league now when everybody's shooting long and the ball comes off the rim kind of crazy. And then if you ain't got no height in there, man, that usually happens in a basketball game.
Yeah, another thing tonight that we talked on earlier was the rotation, the way Tibbs subbed in a lot of his guys. my Burks didn't have it tonight. Played great defense tonight, but he didn't have it tonight, and we could have really used Grimes out there tonight to maybe to extend that 9-man rotation. And I mean, I don't know what would have happened, but we may needed a spark off the bench, man, and he could have probably been it tonight.
Yeah,
Look at all those negatives.
That's
seems
what
like
I'm saying, man.
it seems like Burks either has a 0 assists game or barely scores. One or the other. Yeah, before we do the grades and box score, Divine, in terms of how else we lost it, those couple deep ball rebounds, and also I felt like we were a bit robbed of a couple calls. To me, that hit, where Obi was hitting the head, if that's any other New York Knick, in the past, right? It doesn't matter if it's incidental or not. You hit a dude straight up in the head like that as he's going up for a dunk. That would have been a flagrant one, I think, if it was against the New York Knicks.
Easily.
Easily. Yeah, you know what? And here's another thing, what's so crazy about the game. We got they have 14 offensive rebounds, something like that. Second 10 points or 14 offensive rebounds. 12. I mean, we was getting killed on the glass. They was capitalized. They had 14 and I capitalized with 12 points or something of that nature. But we was getting eaten up on the glass. You know what I mean? And, so I think this was pretty tough. But that first unit right there, man,
you look at it, look right at it. Fournier and we'll go through the thing. But Fournier and Evan both the highest negative on the stat sheet.
Mm-hmm.
It was a complete flip. So like all our starters minus, all their starters plus, all their bench players minus, all our bench players plus. I mean, it's beyond a trend now. It's like every single game you can bet on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Sometimes we got to take it for what it is. I mean, everybody is knowledgeable about the game of basketball, but some things is obvious. If you got guys on there who do the same thing, I say this every time for all these, these naysayers. You can't have everybody who scored a ball in an offense. That is not going to happen. You can't have Burks who will score it. You can't have RD who will score it. You can't have Randall who will score it. You can't have Fournier who will score it. You can't have that in the basketball. Who's going to do the other things? You know what I mean? Who's going to get the rebounds? Who's going to get out there and do other things? Like I said, you have to go back to a point where everybody can't do the same thing, because if that's the case, then I just think that we're gonna fail all around. So I do think we gotta bring guys who do different things in there. We always talk about pace, like Shaw say, pace. Our first unit RJ, Randall, Fournier, Alex Burks is not pace dudes. I'm sorry. And what does pace? What does breakaways and transition? But they easy buckets. Much as you could complain, you want to say about Obi. Obi get out and transition and get easy buckets. The game ain't all about how good you shoot or how good you can do this. How can you get buckets easily against defenses that's set like that? So I say it to say that's the reason why you see Obi had 19 and 10 tonight. Who wouldn't want a guy like that? Who can get down the floor, who can change the game up with his speed, who could change the game up with his athleticism, putting the other team on pressure on them, because now they got to try to keep up with him to get buckets. What we talk about in our first unit, them cats do not have no pace, none of them. So anybody who know basketball, you got to understand what we're saying. Obi Toppin changes that offense. He ain't got to score 40 points. He ain't got to be the main scorer. We don't need him to do that. We need his energy in that first unit. Because sometimes a transition bucket can break up a momentum. You understand what I'm saying, CT and Shaw?
Mm-hmm.
It can break up a momentum. If your team's stagnant, all you need is a fast break point. It changes the momentum of the game. And that's why I think it's so important to put him in there, man. It's not about that. We don't need him to score. He don't need to have the ball in his hand. We got RJ for that. We got Randall for that. We got Alex Burks for that. We don't need Obi for that. And that's what makes it so good to me. That's why I think you can see how effective he is on the floor with that particular unit, because he's the one got that pace, man. I think you could replace that in the second unit, but I don't think we're gonna get nowhere if that first unit don't get that together.
Yeah, facts. And I think Luka Samanic could come in and fill a void if Obi moves into to a more prominent role.
Mm-hmm.
Shah, because our centers are struggling. I mean, Mitch played okay, but our centers are struggling. You know, Nerlens, Noel. It just feels like we just can't keep getting off to slow starts. Like we're from a talent wise perspective, we're already trying to, you know, we're already just trying to keep even.
Yeah, that 14 points and we came back good, man, with that second unit, man. That first unit doesn't have pace, and that is hurting us. And um, we might need a little change, man. Just a tweak, man. And I hate to say somebody, um, Burks might need to go back to the second unit and or put Grimes in with that second unit, man. We might have to extend somebody and minus and take away something. We need something to start us off with some fast break move points, some steals, and we're just not getting it done right now.
Yeah, Burks 0 of 7, Divine. Like it's like what happens to sort of quickly when he gets a more prominent role. It's like a scorer's mentality when they've got to try and become more of a distributor. Their scoring goes out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, you know, we always said Knicks need a bona fide point guard. We were saying that for a minute, you know what I mean? And we do. We need a guy who can do it both ways, who can get the score and facilitate. I mean, that would make a good point guard in this league nowadays. Back in the day, you could have just been a facilitator and got away with it. But now, you know, you got, if you could score and be able to facilitate, you a dual threat from that point guard position, because you're getting assists and you're getting buckets. And I think that's what we was hoping that maybe Kemba Walker could have did for us.
Yep. Yeah, Divine just coming in and out there. Shah.
Yeah, I just gotta reiterate, man, Fournier and Noel right now, those are only two players that I could just they're on my mind right now, man. And I with their little scoring that they did have here, man, I think we could have got that from somebody else tonight, man. Somebody else with a little different defense. And maybe it may be time for Burks to come out of that starting unit now.
Yeah, I would have loved Sims to get some action. You know, I just think, what else can you lose, Divine, with Sims? In terms of whatever Noel's giving you, Sims gives you athleticism. You know, can rim run, pulls in big rebounds. He's big, broad shoulders. He's not getting back down, bullied by like Pascal Siakam or Chris Boucher. Like Noel was getting put in a spin cycle a couple times.
Yeah, he's not the answer right now. And that's like, I think what I'm noticing that Tibbs is searching. Because if you ask me, you should have let Mr. Robinson in the starting lineup. I just think, even the night he did, I'm like, why are they putting Mitch on the bench? Mitch Robinson is an offense rebounding demon. You know what I mean? When he got it going. And you know what? And I know his stamina is the issue, but that's what might get me concerned, that he's trying to figure something out by taking people out who may not need. Think about it. We took Kemba Walker out, and we took Mitchell Robinson out. We ain't won no game. You know what I mean? And so, other than the game, you know, San Antonio, Mitch was a demon that night. You know what I mean? He was a demon that night. You know what I mean? So, I just think that we gotta, you know, I would go back to Mitch. I think Mitch is he's more of an enforcer down here. And he, like I said, he's a good offense rebounder. So that Fournier and Noel, we talk about how many points Fournier had to get to that 9 points. Come on, double that.
It just seems like Tibbs is searching for answers now, Shah. Like, how many different change ups can he try now? I'm just glad we're on the 10th of December now, and like, you know, probably we might see a move in a week or two if this continues. We got Milwaukee coming in, Golden State coming in. We could be 4 games, or we probably will be 4 games under 500 if we can't win one of those.
Yeah, just looking at the hindsight, man, I think if I'm not mistaken, we out of the last 6 games, we only won one game, and I don't know what else we could do right now. I mean, he did switch it up a little bit. Mitch went to the bench. You got Burks in the starting lineup, but we need some young youth on this team right now that we have on the bench to try to get out there and run a little bit, man. Start making instead of waiting to the last 2 seconds of the 24-second clock, start getting the ball up and pass the ball around and make some passes and stuff. If the ball is getting stagnated in the half court sets, man, and you know, Fournier's not coming off that screen and hitting the shot or even attempting the shot, man, and that's hurting us.
Yeah, it's a lot of isolation, and quickly we're struggling as well, and yeah, we just can't seem to get in our flow, right now. Divine.
Yeah, ACT. Can you put up the stat for a minute? I just want to point something out. Check this out: the 2-3 and the 5 spot for the Knicks tonight. 16 points, 3 men, 1 point from the point guard, 6 points from your center, and 9 from your shooting guard. 16 men, 16 points. We could combine together. I'm saying. And I think that's that is abysmal, man. I mean, you talk about your point guard who's a scorer, 1 point. So I think Noel. Here's the thing that's bad about that.
I'll be back.
You had 2 rebounds.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is that the biggest positive to me out of the game, fellas, chat, was our defense was capable, keeping them to 90 points.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
After a crazy first quarter, you look at that, they scored 31 points in the first quarter. Then they were able to score 19, 19, and 21 on their home floor. So we did something right for that 3 quarters, right? We locked them up. We were just too deep in a hole.
Mm-hmm. That's some of the best defense I've seen in the second, third, and quarter this year, man. They held them cats at 19, 19, and 21 through 3 quarters. If that first quarter wouldn't have been a 17-point, that game was over, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Word. And the defense just held it down, and that gives me some sort of thing, I guess, optimism that this team, when they can buckle down, can give that kind of effort. Especially Julius Randle, man, he was straight locking up for a quarter or two. He was locking up Siakam. They neutralized Scotty Barnes quite well.
Yep,
I thought.
Yeah,
I'll pull up the box score real quick for Toronto. Yeah, I would have taken that at the start of the game, 90 point. If I'd told you before the game, Divine and Chat, Shah, that Toronto scored 90 points, would you have taken it or left it?
Oh, I would have taken that.
Yeah, look, nobody got off, really.
Right.
Siakam, 13, 14, 12. Van Vliet, only 17 points. I mean, it was Gary Trent that probably just killed us. Again, that back-breaking 3. And then the Derrick Rose one where he just blew by him. He just stay up on Gary Trent for that one, Divine, and it's like, we're looking at a different outcome.
Mm-hmm. Real talk. Yeah, man, absolutely. So, I mean, it was a lot of positive to me. Don't get me wrong. This ain't even a negative Nancy night for me. It was a lot of positive there, but I do think we got a couple of things we still got to address. But I'm happy about the way they competed. Like I told you earlier in my show, if you lose the game, just go down competing. And they did compete tonight, and I'm glad that we didn't, we went down there and competed. That, a couple of plays here or there, that game could have turned in our favor. So, the defense, I'm happy to see that they got around to what they do. We just got to, get a little bit more consistency from some of them guys in the starting lineup. But, I would love to have that win to be at 500. But now this is a big test for us now. Now, this is make a break right here. We got 2 important games coming up against the creme de la creme in the NBA right now. You know what I mean? You got 2 of the better teams in the NBA we're going up against, and we got to try to go to the Garden, hopefully be able to turn this thing around, man. But it's going to be important after these 2 games. I tell you that much. We 4 games under 500. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, word. And a couple great chats coming through. Donovan, at least Kemba kept us above 500. So, and to piggyback off Geraldine's question, I think I know where she's going with it. Is how many games have we won or lost since Tibbs bench Kemba? Divine, this noise is going to get a bit more louder, I think, with Kemba Walker now just ostracized. We haven't even been any better since ostracizing him. And I think we've lost 4 or 5 now, Geraldine. So, saying Kemba's not a problem, saying any problem, but I'm saying it's just a good book. Getting him out of the rotation.
Hey, CT, let me come up for you breaking up a little bit. You was breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But Kemba, I think Kemba, people trying to use him as the scapegoat now don't look good for them. It doesn't look good for the Knicks having lose these games, and Kemba Walker worse when they was without him. In a sense, record wise. And it's not a good look, man. But I just think that the 1 and the 3 move we brought in just didn't work for us. I just don't think Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier were the answer. That's the only way I could really put it. They just wasn't the answer for us. With the way it looks right now. Because I think the way I don't know if he just even think he belongs here the way he's playing sometimes. I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Apologies for dropping. Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah. We got CT having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll get that together, and everything like that, man. Shaw Powers, I think Kemba trying to use Kemba the scapegoat. I don't think that's gonna work.
I'm having a little technical difficulties myself. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Difficulty, guys. So just bear with us, and we'll keep this thing moving. CT will be back in. But the Kemba thing is tough, man. Having him come in here and then sit him down, and the team still not playing real well. It's pretty much not a good look right now for the Knicks. I think that they're gonna say, why the tip will take him out, and we still ain't winning. So now we're gonna have another thing to deal with in New York, just due to the fact that Kemba Walker hasn't been playing and we haven't been winning. You know what I mean? So I think that's not a good look right now. But salute to the chat, man, and everybody. Yeah, we have a little bit of technical difficulty. Y'all bear with us. CT will be back in to get it right. I'm quite sure of that. But with a tough loss tonight, man. Tough loss. Good hard for a game for came up a little bit. Almost like 20 points a quarter. But that coming out of the gate, giving up 30 points is unacceptable. So we know that's going to cause us a little bit of headache right there, man. But we live to fight another day. We got 2-point game going down Sunday, 1 o'clock game, guys. I'm saying 12 o'clock game. Pardon me. We got a 12 o'clock game Sunday against the Bucks, and then on the 14th, which is my born day, we got the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. So we going, hopefully we can see how that thing go, man, and try to bounce back and get some. But we in a really, really pivotal place in our organization right now. We down 2 games. The crew is back with us, man. So I passed it back, but we just gotta try to right the ship, man, and go get a pop.
Yeah, appreciate you holding it down. Apologies, but I was just piggybacking Geraldine's point. I'm sure you touched on it, but Kemba Walker. The conversation is going to continue to run, but I just didn't think they needed to say he was out of the rotation. Guys, plain and simply, I just think you just play him sporadic minutes. Just like, Mark Berman was also saying to us as well. He just felt, the way they handled it. He could have given us a spark, but at the end of the day, but to your point, they probably want to trade Kemba. So, they probably just want to trade him, right? Keep him healthy.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going on. No need to put that man out there if you're not going to keep him, because you know what? Then if you go out there and tweet him, and it might delay his trade value, because from the basketball side of it, absolutely would love to see him get out there playing. From the business side of it, they think it's just more caution to keep him out and see how this thing's going to pan out. Because obviously, I don't think he's going to be around that long. You know what I mean? So. I understand what he's doing, but I guess it's tough too, because we ain't doing nothing with him. We wasn't doing nothing without him. You know what I mean? So it's like, and you damn don't. We just gotta hope that the situation get resolved one way or the other, and that we could talk about it.
Yeah, facts. And let's kick off and give some grades. So I'm on Toronto. Let me just flip that. Yeah, back to the Knicks. Yeah, it was a couple players really popped tonight, and I was happy for RJ Barrett. Divine. Let's start with him. Although he was a -9, but he took matters into his own hands. I'm glad when they were in foul trouble, he took it to Toronto in that third. 19 points, got to the line, 7 of 8. His just 3-point shot wasn't there tonight. His field goals, 5 of 16, looks pretty bad. But I think a couple of those he was blocked. 19 points, give Barrett a C+ tonight.
Yeah, I want to C+ CT because though he didn't, and another reason why it probably was because I think my man, one time we had a lineup going on the court that he didn't bring him in there because they were playing so good. I think it might have been Obi in them at the time, where they were playing real good, and Tibbs didn't bring RJ back in. For him to come back in that last quarter and almost tie that thing up to win for it, I got to give him a C+ too. He played, the shooting wasn't there, but he's 6 rebounds. I mean, and he can play in the place where he loved to be at, coming from there, and 1,000 people in the stand for him, family and friends and all that good stuff. And to have 19, even though he shot the ball kind of abysmal percentage-wise, but his all-around aggression, his effort, I had to give RJ a flower tonight, but I just had to give him a C+ for that.
Yeah, Shah.
Yeah, I'm right. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm right. I'm right there with you. I believe he was like a B-. He's picking up his scoring game, man. Last couple of games, man, he's been scoring high double digits, man. 19 this game, 19 last game. I think the game before that was San Antonio, 32 points. So last couple of games he's been coming out of the box. Okay rebounding. He looked good tonight. B-.
Yep, B-. Okay. Yeah, man. He gave it all he had, but I'm just glad to see him fight through the slumps. He looks like he's coming through that other side of the slump, Divine. And look, RJ Barrett. I like when he forces it. When he can get to the cup, he does that. When his shot's not falling.
Yeah, absolutely. Being aggressive, not settling for that jump shot. Being aggressive. That's why I love to see what he did this game. The last couple of games, just being one aggressive man, taking the ball to the hole and not settling. And he got the body for it. He got the size, the strength for it. And I think he's starting to use that. So it was good to see that he did that tonight. And even that night against, even though he hit 73-pointer the other night, but he still was aggressive going to the rim as well. And I think he'd be able to get more. I think as he do it more and more, shot. I think the referee's gonna start acknowledging, and they're gonna look out for him.
Oh, there's no question about that, man. He's starting to become a real big player in the NBA right now, and he's starting to get the looks a little bit. He's starting to get a couple more calls than he used to, and 19 points tonight. He played a pretty good game.
Yep. Let's give Fournier, Burks, and Noel their grades all at once. So I'll let you go, Divine.
I would go ahead, but because we only lost by 3 before hard. And Burton doing wise, which is abysmal, but he had 5 rebounds, 5 assists. We always talked about his assist numbers. He did give us 5 assists today, 2 steals, but that 1 point just don't get it from that position. So just gonna give him all 3 of them to combine a D+.
Yeah. You're just breaking in and out a bit, Divine. Still, apologies, everyone. We're just having technical difficulties. It's that night. Just bear with us. Sharp hours.
Noel for me, F. Burks, I love Burks, man. Even though he had a bad game tonight, man, he still came out with 2 steals and 5 rebounds. 5 assists. Tonight, I'm gonna give him a B-, and Evan Fournier, F.
Wow. Yeah. Real. For me, Nerlens Noel, D, Alec Burks an F, and Evan Fournier a D minus for me. And yep, yeah, you good, Divine, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was abysmal. Like I said, 1 point from the point guard spot, 9 from your shooting guard. That's unacceptable there. But I can live with Noel 6 points. But it was 9. Noel outscored Alex Burks tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, so he doesn't have tonight. I maybe could have been because he had there's also all that energy on Fred VanVleet. Yeah, and Van good defense tonight as well. That's mine is a D plus. I'm good.
Yeah, and Julius Randle, 37 minutes, had 1 of 4 threes. I think he was just too hesitant. One of those open threes, he should have took it. I think we all know which one. That one that caused that that shot clock violation. I think 4 or 5 from the line, 14 rebounds. Though he did push the pace. Yeah, again was a little bit discombobulated at times. Forced a couple turnovers, dribbled up the court, and then just dribbled into traffic. Again, 5 assists, 1 steal, minus 10, 13 points for Julius. I'm going to give him a D plus tonight.
Yeah, I go C. I'm gonna go C minus, but I understand why you're doing it because listen, that we can't close the games with the way you do it. We can't close the games that way with him being a primary guy. I'm talking about because the team just locking down on that. I think they need to bring that ball out to the perimeter, swing it around, let the open man knock it down. Every time Julius Randle go in that paint, he don't realize that there's somebody coming from behind him. Like VanVleet was doing it all night. Like Julius Randle, you spin and go the other way, you mentally got to know that somebody's gonna be. They're gonna clap on you. Something coming behind you. He's trying to get caught up and trying to use his strength with everything instead of using this finesse. And I think when he spin that ball from the left baseline into that center, I think they're keen on that, man. And 3 big turnovers in a row for Julius Randle like that, man. You can't do that, bro. So yeah, I think they got to find a way to at the end of the shot clock, at the end of the game. I'm sorry, you cannot post Julius Randle all the time like that. I don't care if you get that shot. They can't initiate the offense.
Yeah, I missed that. Sorry, Divine, you're just locking in and out a bit still. But okay. Sharp hours.
Yeah, Randall, he played a pretty okay game tonight. He played a decent game. I'm not even gonna lie. He played a decent game tonight. Didn't really score too much tonight, but he did, and he had low turnovers tonight, even though the turnovers that he did have were bad turnovers. But at any rate, I'm gonna give Randall. I'm gonna be. I give him a C plus tonight.
Okay. Yeah, and
Yes.
Charlie King, great question to the panel. When are we going to win 2 games in a row? Oh, who knows, fellas?
Look good.
Not with Golden State, Bucks coming in here, but it does ease up after the next 2. It eases up a bit. We play Houston, we play Detroit. We play some of them other teams. That's when we absolutely need to bounce back. If we do end up going 4 games under 500, that next stretch after that, if we start pulling off a bit of a streak, we can probably get back to 500 with the weaker schedule, but we'll break that down later. But yeah, I'd love us to split the Golden State Bucks game. That's going to be critical considering both are at home, Divine.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope we can, man. I hope we can. I think we played like we played tonight defense-wise. If other than that first quarter, you just never know. But that's the only way we're going to be able to beat these teams, CT, if we play defense against them because our offense is not there yet. So how else are we going to win games? We got to play like we played tonight. We got to play some defense. Because if you don't play defense and your offense ain't there, then obviously we're going to be a 12-20. You know what I mean? So I think one good positive tonight is that our defense kept us in the game. You know, and it starts there. You know what I mean? Then, but I think these next two games will be really a telltale sign in New York City if we lose both of them. I just think there's going to be something different going on. You know, and maybe the rumblings is out there now, and you know, let's hope none of these guys are starting to tap out.
Yeah. No, I think they're mentally strong enough. It's just the East has got so much better sharp hours, you know, that we go. Remember when we were talking about when Beans was on the panel and we were asking, you know, when would you hit the panic button? I was saying around 2, 3, 4 games under 500 because I think it's going to be challenging to come back from that without making some big moves.
Yeah, these next two games coming up that we're talking about them now. These would be the games that we think that, you know, hypothetically the Knicks may have a chance to lose these games. These may be the two games that they come out and finally something happens. You know, I have to stay on the optimistic side, man. But if we don't come out and if we might have to make a little twerk in that first unit again, man, because something got to give, man. Something got to give, man. We can't get off to these starts like this. First and third quarters are mainstays to trying to win a game, man. If you can't, and this first quarter was horrible tonight, man. And after that, everything that started blossoming, we had a really good second quarter, a pretty decent third quarter, and almost equal fourth quarter, man. We just missed this game tonight, man, and you know, we need to start off better so we don't have to fight back so hard in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, facts. And Derrick Rose, I said it before. I just think they'll end up back at square one where they were last season. Tibbs trusts Derrick Rose. I just think that's the break glass in case of emergency move, and that's just probably going to happen, I think.
Yeah. I can see that happening. He definitely gonna, and like I said, I don't want to make a burger issue because he had one. Two.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hit up the bench now. Obi Toppin had a big night, career high. Salute to him. 24 minutes, 6 of 14. Still not shooting the ball well from deep. You know, he needs to continue to work on that shot. 6 of 6 from the line. Had 10 rebounds. You know, just got the double. 19 points, 6 plus 6 as well. You know, he definitely was one of the catalysts to get us back in the game. They didn't really have much of an answer for his aggressiveness. I'm going to say whenever he got the dribble handoff, he just took it to the cup. Divine.
You know what? One of my favorite plays of the night from Obi Toppin, and I'm gonna give him an A+ tonight. Trust me. One of my favorite plays tonight. He actually got called for a foul when he spent baseline. And the called him, but that's what I want to see from Obi right there. When that man spent baseline, he was about to jack that. He was about to throw a jackhammer on that. But my man, the ref called him with a hook coming around. But I think his aggression, man. You can't question the effort that this cat's putting in on that court. His hops are silly. His offense rebound, when he missed that first one, right back up slam. I mean, he just got a gift. He's strong with speed, bro. I mean, he just go. You know, he's strong with speed and he could jump. I think once he get that 3-ball in order, and maybe that might be his maturation next year, or going to the all-season, work on your 3-ball. You know what I mean? But I know once he get that 3-ball to you know what I mean? He just got that 3-ball to league average.
Yeah, sharp hours. Divine's coming in and out a bit.
All the way. Go ahead, Divine. You there?
Yeah, no, I was just saying. No, go ahead. I'm finished. I was trying to think about what my internet is messing up.
For me, tonight, Obi A+. What else can you say about the kid, man? In 24 minutes, scoring 19 points, 10 rebounds, real efficient, gets the team moving, very energetic. A+ for Obi Toppin.
Yeah. It's hard to give him any other grade, considering it's a career high. He had a huge impact. He doesn't give us this output, and we lose the game by double digits. I think that's a fact. Again, you go back to the bench. There was only so many players on this team and a plus tonight. When you played 24 minutes too, that's that's half the game, plus 6. And also, Mitchell Robinson came in, gave a good impact, 18 in his 18 minutes, fought hard for some of those rebounds, putbacks, was a plus 6, 4 points, but 8 rebounds, for 2 of them offensive. I'll give Mitch a B tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, sharp hours. Sorry, Divine. We're just breaking in and out still.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. CT. I don't. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Can you hear? If you hear me, yeah, I think Mitch played a good game for the amount of minutes he had. I just think that when he came in that second quarter, he helped with that point, and the defense picked up, and we got back in that game, man. And I think that's why I said sometimes it's intangible that he does. The energy, them the little things. It's not about the box scoring. Sometimes it's about the confusion that he causes. Sometimes, man, and that's why I give him a nice solid B2 as well, man. He played a good game tonight for me for 18 minutes. He still snatched down 8 rebounds, 6 offense rebounds. Them things was important too, because them things gave us second chance shots to keep us into the game and get back in the game. So I like what Mitch did tonight for sure.
Yep. Yeah, Shah.
Yeah, solid B for Mitch. Played a all-around game, and you notice when he was in the game, the players that drove to the hole made harder shots. They're more arc on the ball when he's in the game, and he's a big presence down there, man. He shook up the second team, and he gets a solid B from me.
Yep. Yeah. You guys still a fan of Mitch off the bench before we hit up the next topic? Because Nerlens Noel struggled. What do you think Tibbs is going to do? Just continue with Noel after a performance like this?
Man, I think he don't. I don't know how his ego is. He might not want to say, "Man, I made the decision. Now I'm gonna regret it." I hope his ego don't get in the way and just say, "You know what? I think the order for the team first mentality, team come first. He put Mitch back in there." I like I said, Noel had a pretty good second half, but Mitch, like I said, his offense rebounding and his defense is special to me, man. And when he's not in that game, you see what happened. You just see what happened when he's not in that game. The offenses start doing things against us that they normally don't do when Mitch is in there, and that's why I think them the intangibles and them little things that don't come on the stat sheet. But I hope that he put Mitch back in there. Maybe he might be doing it just whatever, but I think Mitch should be starting center in New York right now.
Yeah, he might.
Yep. Oh, go ahead, CC. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I'm just saying, he might. I think he wouldn't hesitate to tinker back again if Nerlens is doing this. I mean, we can't afford to continue this spiral.
My big thing tonight, he left Noel in a little longer than he should have. Should Mitch come back to the starting unit? Yes. Should we start using Sims in that second unit with the young guys to run a little bit before we put Noel's back? If Sims is not having a great game or gets into quick foul trouble, should we go to Noel next? Yes. I'm not right now. I think we need to look at Sims a little bit more and implement Mitch back into the starting unit.
Okay. Yeah. What do you guys think, chat? Would you keep Nerlens there for a minute? Would you move Mitch back? See, one thing is Mitch is looking great, but in 18 minutes, it's a bit easier of a role to do your thing. I think when Mitch has got to play 30, he might might still be struggling. But the losing the weight is really helping Mitch. Losing the weight, and I'm noticing him, Divine, get a bit more quickness and springiness.
Yeah. You know what, CT, for me, and I'm cool with Mitch not playing a lot of minutes, but I think he should start though. I don't care to take him out with three or 4 minutes into the first quarter, but I do think he should start. Now, does he need to play starting minutes? Maybe not, but I think he should start. He should be in that starting lineup to help anchor that defense. We are getting killed on that team in 30-point quarters and all that stuff, and I think it's all about the defense. And from coming out of the gate for us, that seems like that's our Achilles heel, that we giving up these big leads. So what do you need to do? You need to put your best defenders in there. And I think Mitch, is a better defender in this point because he knows how to. He's so agile and he covers a lot of ground. He got more body now than Noel, and so that's the reason why I want him there. Is we come in the first 4 minutes and then take him out to let him get his breath, whatever, and take him out with 4 minutes into the quarter. But in 4 minutes he probably can save you 6 or 7 points just from his defense alone. He could save us 7 to 8 points. So that's
He's
the reason
blocking. The way he was chasing down some of the shots, Shah, in the last couple of games now, Mitch, he makes them have to put it real high on the glass.
The arch on, the arch on these players that drive to the hole when Mitch is when Mitch is down low. You see it, man. I mean, they shoot higher. Their arc to their shot is way higher, or they drive to the hole and see Mitch and want to pass the ball back out. They don't do that to Noel. They go right at Noel, and right now Noel and Mitch will Noel just got me I'm in a Noel bag today, man. I just don't want to see Noel anymore, man. I really, if we're gonna keep going right now, man, I think Sims is a better option off the bench before Noel right now. Let Noel sit on that bench a little bit, get that leg a little bit better, and start Mitch. We could do a three-head juggernaut, man. Let Mitch start, bring in Sims, and if either one of them not playing well, then throw Noel in there. We got to work something out.
Yeah, Divine's great question in the great pre-game show today. Who would you want to trade? Because to me, it's clear one of them's got to go because you got Taj, you got Sims, and I'm happy with Obi playing more minutes of the 5. I just think that with the trade deadline coming up, Divine, now we got to, I'd choose Noel. $10 million, give him to a contender or something that needs a big man.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that, CT? How that Noel situation could change for the Knicks as well. Let's say you move Noel and you move somebody hypothetically. You bring in a point guard you need, and now you could bring in Samanich from down the G League now. Because you creating a big man spot, right? You create a big man spot. You let Samanich come up and take Noel's spot. Not saying that he start before Sims, but we just got another big man there. But then by freeing up another spot, you go and you take Noel somebody and put him and get a point guard. And then I think Mitchell Robinson, Sims, Randall, Obi, and Samanich is a good enough 5 for me down there. I think it's good enough for me. You know what I mean?
You still have Taj.
Yeah, you got somebody who could score on the offense. Now, if you say you bring Samanich in, and that man could stretch the floor and knock down a couple of threes. Now, that's something that Mitch, Noel, Sims can't do.
Word. Yep. And your internet's all crystal clear now. So good. I think whatever you did worked. And let's quickly give up the grades for Rose. I want to say I think Rose was a little bit tunnel vision. Did you guys feel there was a couple of times Rose was just a bit out of control?
Well, he was 6. He's 6 for 16. Yeah, I mean, I guess he +8, man, 11 points. 4 assists, 6 rebounds. I got to give Rose his flowers, man. He out rebounded. He out rebounded Noel tonight.
With the 3 turnovers, he drove to the bucket a couple times and just left his feet. They were critical turnovers. We were making a nice run.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But he was, man. He did. You're right. So I mean, I'm gonna go with a B tonight for Derrick Rose because he did keep us in some of that in that game. I think that's why Tibbs left him out there most of the time and put Burks back out. Took Burks out because he was really playing the point guard pretty well for us. And but like I said, 6. You got to give him his flowers, man. Derrick Rose 6 rebounds, that third highest on the team tonight. 4 assists. You know what I mean? Like you said, the turnovers from the point guard spot, I guess you had to live with that. But 11 points. He played a good game for us, man. He played a good floor game for us tonight.
Yeah, facts. Sharp hours.
Yeah,
Give D Rose.
Overall, D Rose is a veteran, and he came tonight to play a little bit of ball. Not a high scoring game, but 11 points is 11 points, 4 assists and 6 rebounds. What else can you say? 2 offensive rebounds also.
Mm-hmm.
He did turn the ball over. I remember one time was real crucial, and aside from that, man, that's Derrick Rose, man. I'm gonna give him a B.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think there's a stat too, though, when D Rose does play a lot more than 25 minutes, then his production goes down a bit. But again, 33 minutes, you wonder whether Tibbs does go back to that move with D Rose if we continue to spiral. And those couple of turnovers were costly to me, leaving his feet, going baseline. But he did definitely help lock up Fred VanVleet.
Mm-hmm.
He did a great job and staying in front of everyone, switching. And I've got to say, I think we did cope well with the zone tonight, Divine. It's like we've seen zone enough, but tonight I found like they look one of the best. Whenever Toronto went back to the zone, we knew what we were doing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably one of the better games we played against the zone. It really did. And I think that goes in hand in hand by having somebody like my man Obi Toppin, who athletic and sneak behind. They had to watch him behind them, but the back of that zone. Derek knocked down a nice 3 in that zone, and they hit a couple of 3s in the zone. And you got to have zone busters. You know what I mean? Somebody who could bust zones. And when they came out in that third quarter, I seen quickly knock down some 3s. But I like the way they throw the ball in the pinch post. And then they let somebody operate from right there. And if they don't got nothing, they kick it out. I think RJ did it pretty good tonight when they dropped, when they have done it on. I think he was in a pinch post for one time right around the foul line and was able to maneuver that ball to somebody to hit a nice shot. So I think they did pretty good against the zone tonight.
Yeah, I got to give D Rose a B minus, and Emmanuel quickly tonight, fellas. 24 minutes. Questionable shot selection at some times. His 3-point strokes just not where he wanted to be right now as well. 1 of 5, 2 assists, was still +9. I thought he played an incredible defense, picking up Gary Trent and picking up Malachi Flynn at the end there. 5 points. So I'll give quickly a C minus tonight.
Yeah. I'll give him a C. For that reason, like you said, he did play some good defense, +9. Didn't have it offensively tonight, but he did other things, so that's good. He didn't have no turnovers. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists. It wasn't his game. He went up against some good point guards and shooting guards tonight. Gary Trent and what's the other young man was coming in for them was pretty good as well. So, but he played a decent game tonight. I give him that C because I think he played a pretty good game tonight, just from what he could do and not having a good offense game tonight.
Yeah, facts. And let's again take a quick look at the Toronto box score again. I would have taken this at the start of the game. Great defensive performance for 3 quarters. It was just that first one and getting out of the gate slow again. Sharp hour. So I'm really not too down on this loss. It's just bad timing because we really needed this one to go back to 500.
Yeah, this definitely was. And for us to start off so slow and to end up pretty much dominating the second and third quarters, man. And even the fourth, we even beat them in the fourth. Then we beat them in the fourth also. it's just it makes you scratch your head a little bit, man. It makes you start picking at the team and who we could have did this different. We could have took 7 more minutes away from Burks and 3 more minutes away from D Rose and gave it to 10 minutes, 10 minutes to Grimes or something like that to release some of the pressure on the starters and stuff like that. But it's another game that we just was right there, man. Just in the last 5 games, we had at least 3 games where we were just right there for the taking, and we just couldn't get over the hump. And we need something to help us get over the hump.
Yeah,
I think, and real quick, Divine. I think we've been saying this a while, but we're missing probably one more piece, which is crazy. We always just keep saying that, but one quality starting small forward like a Kelly Oubre or DeMar DeRozan or something, and I think this squad will probably be, up near the fifth, sixth spot right now.
Mm-hmm. CT, I said something earlier. Remember when I said Noel, Alex Burks, and Evan Fournier had 16 points?
Yeah.
The dude that they play against in the starting unit tonight had 54. Yeah, but 3 guys scored 16 points for us. 3 of the same 3 guys in that same position scored 54 points. Gary Trent Jr. had 24 on Evan Fournier had 9. My man Van Vliet had 17. Alex Burks had 1. Noel had 6. Boucher had 14.
Yep.
Torches.
Man.
That 3 positions. We got to get more production out of that, man. Can't win like that, man.
Yeah, and great point by Stephen Fox that OG Anunoby was out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of they players was out, and Pressure Achua was out. Gordon Dragic.
I don't count Dragic too much because
that's true.
Yeah, but they had OG would have made things difficult for Randall, but he should have taken a bit more advantage of the matchup tonight, Shah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we could sit here and talk about, man, with this team tonight, man. And those 3 positions, like Divine just said, man, that just to do the matchup just the way Divine just did, man, it's incredible, man. It's just incredible, man. I'm looking at the things now, just incredible at those 3 positions that we got outscored that bad, and the score we still kept them under 100 points. They didn't even make they just made 90 points, man. The defense was pretty okay, man. We just need something to get us over the hump.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lex, I feel your pain, chat. Lex, the destroyer, and their bench sucks. How do we not win? We don't score 14 points in the first, we win.
Right.
We just got to do better than that. We're supposed to have made offensive upgrades, like to score 14 points. Yeah, Evan Fournier again. Someone's got to step up and start hitting some shots.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It made it tough that first quarter to me because, you down 17 and now all your energy and I got to get the Knicks their flowers tonight, man. To be down like that and still come back and compete like that. Let's give them some credit where credit is due too. They competed tonight, and this is probably one of the better, at least 3 quarters anyway. And we wouldn't have we wouldn't have gave up them that 30-something points and only scored 17. We might be going back to MSG 500 tonight. You know what I mean? No doubt in my mind, their defense played that good tonight, except for that they came out in that first quarter and they just, you know what I mean? So we got to, and I think we got to fix that situation. I think that's going to be the main thing we got to go forward is how do we stop that first quarter stuff, man? I mean, it's got to get corrected. I think we killing ourselves because now all our energy is being exhausted. And give our Knicks credit tonight, man. I'm disappointed because we just didn't win the game and we could have been 500. But I am not disappointed with the effort. Julius Randle was a 3-point shot away from with having 0.9 seconds left on the clock. We up 1. We fought, bro. We fought. So, and that's all I want to see is just we keep fighting until we figure this thing out. And even if it's too late, you still keep fighting so we know what we got going forward. No matter how this thing go right now. I think if the Knicks keep fighting, and can hang in there and find a way to get back to what they can do. And I know we keep saying that every time we lose a game, but what else can we say? I just think that we got to find a way to get this thing together. And I just think that tonight, to me, I was happy about our defense. That's one thing I'm glad about, and I was happy about that. And I'm definitely happy about Obi Toppin tonight. I just think his energy, that you know what, and real quick, CC11, I'm gonna pass it out. Let me bring this point up real quick. Like I was saying, if we keep playing this way, you know, people don't want to say they don't want us to go into the bench. They want to keep certain people on the bench. What are we gonna do then? We're gonna have to bring somebody off that bench that can really. The first two didn't work. Kemba Walker and Mitchell Robinson not work. Switching them two not working right now. But I do think that 3 spot is difficult for us to deal with right now.
Yeah, facts. And Donovan, we lost the game. That double offensive rebound play just killed us again and again. And obviously a couple of possessions where the shot clock dwindled, a couple of shot clock violations got blocked. I thought, guys just had a bit of tunnel vision tonight, sharp hours. But I agree with Divine. Defensively, the effort was there, keeping them to 90 points. It just our offense, sadly enough, couldn't carry us to a dub tonight.
Yeah, once again, that first quarter, man, that was the thing, man. And we couldn't Fournier couldn't get off a little bit, and we started slow, real big things that really hurted us tonight. And I hopefully they'll take it back to the drawing board and see what they did wrong, and maybe we could, make another little change before we start against Milwaukee or something like that, or Golden State too. And we got to get off to a better start. We have to get off to a better start. We have to be more competitive in the first and third quarters if we think that we're going to be able to. Fourth quarters, we very rarely have a problem in the fourth quarters, but that first and third quarter kills us this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting closer to what Divine suggested, which is start Deuce McBride. You only score 14 points in the first quarter. How much worse could you be with him out there in his defense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to get a little bit more athletic there, man. In that spot, I mean, Burks is athletic to a degree, but he's not Deuce. And I think right now, I hate to say it, but Evan Fournier is the killer on that defense in that first quarter, in that first unit, in the first quarter. He is Achilles' heel. You know what you asking Evan Fournier to do? To go up against some of the best shooting guards in the league. He got to take on a lot of the best scores in the league is at that 1 and the 2 and the 3. You know what I mean? And his defense is just not there, man. To keep us in it, man. We've been doing 30 points a game lately for a minute. You know what I mean? And so I'm not trying to blame it on him, but that 3 spot is a problem. Because you at the 2 spot, I mean to say you asked Evan Fournier to guard guys in this league who could really get down there. And I think that's a problem, man. Defensively, I just think it's a problem.
We keep going with these makeshift lineups and players out of position as well. Sharp hours. Like, when are we just going to get back to traditional lineups and find a point guard and a small forward so that RJ can do his thing, and I think Randall's going to be frustrated, but I'm not too down on terms of the losing right now because it's still early, and I want wholesale changes. I don't think this roster or this rotation's finishing the year. We need to evaluate the shortcomings, and then the front office can now look at it and correct it, because we all see what's not working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk. We got to fix this thing. We definitely got to get ready to
Shah's just muted.
My bad.
You go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, just to reiterate what you guys said, man, that Deuce and Grimes to be started would be great right now. I think, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Burks, man. He's been playing great ball, man, but we're burning him out, man. He's playing over 30 minutes a game right now, high 30 minutes a game. And he's usually our fourth quarter go-to guy. And by the time he gets to the fourth quarter now, he doesn't really have it. So I mean, if we're gonna change it up and do something, man, we might as well change it up now and see if it works. What's gonna hurt? We started off 14 points tonight. If we just started deucing Grimes, who knows what would have happened? Will we still have the same 14 points, or will we fared a little better?
Yeah, ACT. Let me ask you. I'm just looking at like the body language and just this, even the pressure. I think Tibbs is frustrated.
Oh, no
I think that
question.
man is frustrated, bro. I think Tibbs kind of frustrated because he like these players that they gave me is not working.
Word.
I think he frustrated, bro. And it seems like no matter what he do, damn if you don't. You know what I mean? He say, man, I probably want to put Grimes and all these guys in there, but they're gonna say how I'm gonna justify sitting $19 million down. You know what I mean? How I'm gonna justify putting $19 million on the bench. He probably like, you shouldn't even put that $19 million up in here. You know what I mean? He's in a tough spot, man. Because him and Randall, I feel bad for Randall too, because even though Randall have his moments, but man, y'all put that gave that man something. He took less money for y'all to build something around him, to give him a little bit more something to work with. Because he had RJ, he was good with that. We good with that. But man, you didn't bring nobody around them dudes, and I just thought that if they thought Fournier was gonna be that dude. But I just realized in the game today, CT, all he do is shoot threes off of. It's not like he's doing anything else. Even though he can get to the paint, he's not even going there a lot. So we gave him $19 million to shoot threes. I think they just don't like that, man. I don't think he's feeling that.
And the worst part of the whole thing is he's not even hitting them. I mean, he hits 2 out of 7, 3 out of 9. His numbers is not like he's 5 out of 7 or 5 out of 8 or something like that. He's not shooting that great right now, man. And we're lackluster with his defense, man. I mean, I like Fournier. I wanted Fournier here last year, like I said, man. But now to see him here right now, and and it could be just because he doesn't have a pure point guard to really give him the ball when he really needs it. You know what I mean? And not taking away from any point guards that we have now, but we may need a true point guard, man. And what will hurt if we try a deuce? What will go wrong if we try Deuce or implement Grimes? Because sooner or later, and I hate to say this out loud, man, but Fournier may not get that much burn. I mean, him with the big contract, they have to, use him, but
Yeah, man. I agree with you, man. You hit the nail. Imagine if Tibbs secretly is thinking, I can't even use Fournier, and I get him out of it. Imagine if the two marquee additions is just like, man, they're unplayable. Like you straight flush money down the toilet. I don't need yous anymore. Just give me the rookies.
Yeah, man. You know what's interesting to me? And I keep harping back at it because I think both of them will work at it. If we change this without talking about, they both work well. Fournier need to be in that second unit with him and Quickly be our dagger 3-point shooters. You know what I mean? Him and Quickly will be the dagger 3-point shooters, because here's the problem with Fournier. He got guys in that starting lineup who got to get their shots. Fournier used to getting them shots in Orlando. You know what I mean? He was that dude. He was that first or second dude with Vucevic. So he was used to being like. Now he in a position where, dude, sometimes you might not even be the third dude tonight. Because if Burks got it going or Randall got it going, Fournier ain't gonna be able to get it going because there's not enough basketball there. That's the reason why I said put Obi Toppin in there. Because you know what? Obi Toppin don't get his shots from demanding a basketball. Like, you don't got to put the ball in his hand for him to get his points. He get them so many other ways. And I think that's a problem with the Knicks. That's why our defense struggled with Fournier there, because not only he ain't playing no good defense, he ain't knocking down nothing. So I mean, I think that's the Achilles heel for sure. I mean, we took Kemba Walker out. It's still the same. So who would that tell you who it is then? Another person that can be. I think it's Fournier. I just don't think he just don't got it right there. And that for his defense, Cats giving up. Nah, I think you got to put Obi Toppin in there.
You need
Send that man to the
athletes,
bench.
Divine.
Huh?
You need athletes. Like
Yeah,
he's
facts.
just not an
Right.
athlete. Like he just can't keep up with athletic wings now. I just think another case of us signing a close to 30-year-old, over 30-year-old player that's not athletic, you know.
Jonathan said put Obi in for who? Put him in for Fournier.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to that, man. The way Obi's been playing these last couple of games, and especially where he came off the bench and played tonight with Julius Randle on the court, with Mitchell Robinson on the court. Let's try it out. You know,
That's when they was getting it.
let's let's try it out. I mean, I mean, we're playing it. We're playing it out right now. I mean, why not implement it? And he scored 19 points tonight. I mean, you know, tonight, you know, 19 points. And the why it's so stuck in my head. He scored 19 points. And he only played 24 minutes, man. 24 minutes. Imagine hypothetically, another 6 to 8 minutes. You know, he might have had 22 points, 24 points, or something like that. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. And I get Stephen Fox's point, great. We said Obi can't defend threes, depending on who the three is.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on who the three is. Now, if it's a three who's fast, mobile, but you got threes in the league now, 6'8", 6'9", that's his size. You know what I mean? Now, if it's a small three, I get where Stephen Fox is coming from because he had the quickness and all that. But you also now Obi Toppin got advantage against them smaller cats. You know what I mean? So it's like it works both ways. He might give up a little bit on the speed side, but then he gains a lot against them small threes on the strength side. You know what I mean? So I think it's a give or take with there, but I think he's better than Fournier, period. You know,
yeah, I mean,
because he do
size
things
and
that
length.
Fournier can't do. You know, Fournier can't get rebounds like Obi. He can't run the floor like Obi. Obi might suffer from that 3-point shot, which once he get that 3-point shot, now you're going to be looking at a 16, 15 a game every night score because he gets his point so many other ways without having to, you know. I just think that they got to switch it up. Fournier, I would take Fournier out for Obi Toppin, put Fournier in that second unit, let him and quickly be them dagger shooters down there. I don't think that's the only thing we can do. We don't have the personnel on this team to do too much stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Obi is scoring these points without having the ball in his hands. He's getting the ball given to him instead of him initiating the drives and everything like that. Unlike Fournier, needs the ball in his hand to come off that curl, take a dribble, and shoot. And I mean, you know, what can hurt if we try to start Obi? But the biggest thing that you're going to start hearing once if Obi was to go into the starting lineup, now we got Kemba sitting on the bench, and now we put in the other person that we got, Evan, on the bench again. You know, that's going to be the big talk of the town for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. If that happens.
That's why, even like beat writers and Mark Berman was also saying, look out for the Fournier thing. You know, he either he's a salary filler or they look to move him to another team and try to get some other pieces, right? Because the front office, they may have admit they made a mistake and they may want to just move Fournier on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't forget after this season, there's only 2 more guaranteed years, right? The 4th year is not guaranteed. So technically this season's almost, you only got 2 more years after this. So it's not a horrible pick. You know, we may not need to attach a first, but maybe attach a couple seconds, and someone like a contender would love to take that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you know what? And I've been trying to share with the guys. But my thing is here. See, we not depending on. Well, this is why it's important. I just always want to put this point out there. We not depending on Obi to score in the first unit. We don't even need him for that. Obi gonna score. I don't need Obi. We don't need Obi in the first unit to score per se to be a scorer because I think you got RJ, Randall, and whoever that point guard is to do that. So you don't need him to be a scorer in the first unit. You need him to be like a Dennis Rodman or somebody who just don't depend on putting the ball in their hand to get buckets a certain way. Obi Toppin get his points off of fast breaks, dunks, putbacks. You know, we got guys who can do individual scoring, and then I think that's the problem with Fournier because he's an individual scorer, and he got three other guys that do the same thing. He can't get in the rhythm because he got Burks, Randall, and RJ doing the same thing he do. So that's why he gonna be abysmal, because if he can't get the ball to get in rhythm, because the other guy got where the ball goes to Randall all the time, Fournier gonna have this problem all year. It's too many scorers in that first unit and not somebody who don't demand a basketball. Obi Toppin do not demand a basketball, so you don't have to worry about him taking shots from other people. That's the problem with our first unit right now. It's too many guys who could score that need the ball in their hand to score. Obi Toppin don't need the ball in his hand. He can get that ball in many ways, off the rebound, the putbacks, the up and down the court. So I think that's the reason why I say put Obi in there, because he changes. He breaks that log jam we got up with all these guys who need the basketball to score. It's too many of them, man. And on top of that, one of them can't play defense that good. So what's the difference between Obi Toppin and Fournier? They both don't play good defense, but Obi Toppin got more athleticism. So he could do things that Fournier can't do. And that's why I just think that they need to just throw him in there and let him do the intangible things like he did tonight. Put that in the first unit and put Fournier right back in that second unit. And even Obi don't have to get started minutes per se, but we got to change that thing up in the first unit. There's no way we can go the rest of the season with that same starting lineup. We would be in a lottery.
Yeah, I'd rather be undersized and have Quickly at the 2, have RJ at the 3, put Fournier on the bench. Like I've been saying, I think Fournier can really look decent on the bench against bench players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we saw it's tough, man. It's tough right now with where we looking at, man. We trying to find answers, all of us guys, every one of us in the fan base, and all us guys who come up here. We all just searching for answers. Nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong about the way we thinking about it. But when and I just try to look at it from watching basketball from a period of time. It's like, man, what is not working in our starting five, and what is our Achilles heel? We already too small as it is. It's Mitchell Robinson and a bunch of 6'8" guys. You know what I mean? Yep. It's Mitchell Robinson and a bunch of 6'8" guys. And that's the problem with the Fournier at the 2 or the 3. So if you bring Obi in there, you could put RJ Barrett back at the 2. You understand what I'm saying? Now we get bigger, we got more rebounding, we got more athleticism, and now we could compete with the Scotty Barnes and these tall, linky wings who getting up like they are, man. And that's why you got to take a gamble with Obi Toppin. He's the only one on that team that can do that stuff that a lot of these cats are doing now that we playing against. Cats is all over the rim, and Fournier them down there. We small, man. We a small team, bro.
Yeah,
small team.
Man. Slow too.
Facts.
We need a speedy guard. But look, I'm going to evaluate them after the trade period. If they don't make good moves, the knives and pitchforks will be out. But Leon Rose, the honeymoon period is over for him. They've stood pat at how many trade deadlines? Let's see, because I don't like you said, Devi. I'd take being 500 at the trade at the All-Star break, but if it's looking like we'll be under 500, unless we can get it together.
Yeah, we definitely have to shake something up real quick, man. That Obi thing, implementing Obi into that starting unit might do something for us, man. And I really think that we need to try Grimes either off the bench or starting Deuce. We need to shake it up, something terrible right now, man. Because these next 2 games, man, that we got coming up, man, that's 2 more losses, man, and it's going to really set us back, man. And the mindset for the team, I don't know how. I mean, this team wants to be gritty, man, but we got to put the guys out there that are gritty.
From 5-1, fellas, we went from 5-1 to now we're staring down being 4 games under. And I said it. I said that first stretch, if we weren't 7-3 or 8-2. Things were just going to get harder from there, and we didn't capitalize on a real soft start. We had Boston and Orlando twice, in the first 3 games. I mean, like, I just think
and the next 2 games is pretty tough, because now you look at who we're going up against in those spots there. You got in the 2 and 3, you got Andrew Wiggins in one of them. So that means now RJ gonna have to spend all this time playing Andrew Wiggins. And so and then you go down to the Milwaukee game. You know, I mean, it's the energy that they extended in that first unit. So who we know Giannis going to be a handful. We know Chris Middleton's going to be a handful. And then if Fournier can't give us under the 2 guard spot, then let's say whoever he guard is going to be a handful. That's why we're just going to be tough for us. And then you got Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry in there, and I mean, them boys are playing good ball down there in Golden State. You know, Poole and all these guys, and Gary Payton Jr. playing pretty good for them. I mean, I don't know when Clay coming back, but hopefully he don't be back sometime soon. But but even that, they still got a good team down there. This is gonna be tough, man. But we'll see, CT. I'm not jumping off ship by no means, but I do think these next 2 games gonna be pivotal. And if we lose these 2 games, we go to 12 and 16.
Yep.
Yeah, 12 and 16, and the pressure's gonna start mounting.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Now the pressure starts mounting. That and that's what's really gonna be the telltale sign is. I think last year we could weather this storm because I think we had a lot of guys like Reggie Bullock and Alpha Payton who had a little grit to them. They how would I say they bent, but they didn't break. This year might be different. We might bend and wind up breaking because the guys that we got in their positions, one not playing and one don't have the tenacity that Reggie Bullock was playing with. And from Merlin type dude, he understands the East Coast basketball. He understand all that, you know what I mean? And Fournier, I think, like I said, you can't take for granted that he was in Orlando. What's to do in Orlando? So, it's crazy right now.
We had the Pacers talking about blowing things up, right? If the Pacers win their next 2 and we lose our next 2, we're basically in the same situation as them.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are staring at being in the lottery. Obviously, if moves don't get made, I think if this roster stays the same, we're a lottery team. Like based on what I've seen, I don't think just this roster alone can just turn it around. And there's got to be some type of maneuvering, and that's a combination of some of these situational players coming through, like Deuce and Sims and Grimes, and then also hopefully, a Fournier Noel move. We know Kemba's going to get moved. That move's going to happen. It's a given. They're not playing him. It's exactly like Austin Rivers' situation. The moment you take a guy completely out of the rotation, you go on record, you go on TV and say it. He's a 4-time All-Star. I think, and with that said, let me bring in the man with Trey Songz. Yeah. He's muted, but he's on the dance floor hosting a huge event, KJ Dub Events, hosting an event with Trey Songz tonight. He's getting down while we're sitting here spitting misery over the New York Knicks.
You got the good Hennessy or something.
It's looking real dark there, KJ. At least give us some views. Oh, yep, that's it. Let me.
Yeah, that thing lit in there.
Yeah, it is. That's a big place too.
Let me pull him in the solo layout. See if we can get a better look. Oh, yeah, it's looking like the party's just getting started.
Real talk.
Hey, you missed it. You missed a good one, KJ Dub. You picked the perfect time to miss tonight's game, but good looks.
Wow, that's packed up in there.
So you only get that on the streets of other Knicks Will Talk. You only get that. Only we missing the shot powers on the dance floor the other night.
It would have been popping up there.
Right, you only get that here, brother. That's what makes the show free.
If I'd have known he had an event tonight, you might not have seen me tonight either. You might have seen me, and I got to work in the
morning. Yeah, we told him to keep it muted, because it's just way too loud in there. But I appreciate you, KJ. Wouldn't it be real funny? I'm not just trying to be foolish with this, but wouldn't it be funny if we just came out and beat Golden State
I
and
just
beat
yeah.
Milwaukee.
I just said that. Yeah, they said that we come after these last five, losing these last 1 out of 5 games and come out and put a hurt on Milwaukee and then play real well against Golden State, man. That would be hilarious. You know, we sitting here now ready to trade the whole team. I don't want to trade the whole team, but I just want to change a couple of starters. But to do a mix and do all this other stuff and come out against these next two teams and beat them, you know, it will relieve a lot of pressure that we got right now, because right after those two games, we got like 4 teams that are, you know, winnable games.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we just got to get back on the grind, man. It ain't over till it's over. You know, we stay optimistic about it and try to figure it all out. Like I said, we had times last year when we lost 4 or 5 in a row. We brought it back, and we got back in this thing, and we went on a streak at the end of the year. I mean, we got it's soul searching time, I guess. I mean, we just got to dig down and see what this team is made of. They played a good game defensively tonight, man. They got at it. I mean, they were scrapping. This is one of the most. I love the game tonight just due to the fact that they played with effort. You know what I mean? They played with effort. They battled. Other than that first quarter, for your defense to hold them to 20 points a quarter or something like that, the next 3, that was pretty amazing. You know what I mean? And hopefully we could bring that aspect back to the table more often. And because that's really what is a staple of our team, is playing good defense, and then hopefully our offense get around. But you know what? Right now it's a tough time in New York City. The Knicks is losing certain type of games. We got things that's going on, but it ain't over till it's over, man. You know what? Like I said, you can lose today and win tomorrow. You know what I mean? But we here as fans. Not only we here as guys who run a platform, or we guys who moderators. We also fans. You know what I mean? We fans, and we can't lose sight of that. That obviously, we try to deal with straight facts, no hyperbole, no. But at the same time, we fans too. We feel a certain type of way about our team, because now that we're trying to be broadcasters on the show, we trying to also show you love that way we feel it, the passion that we have about our team, because we hate to see them lose.
Yeah, word. And here's the standings. I'm gonna pull it up a bit more, make it larger. So we're sitting at 12 and 14 now.
Look at that.
Yeah, well, look at that. We're the 4th worst team in the East. Indiana a couple games away on a 3-game winning streak. We're a 2-game losing streak. It's a sad sight, but look, Toronto overtook us with the, it was a swing game tonight with Toronto beating us.
Yeah, we'd have won this game tonight. We'd have probably jumped up to 9th place.
Yeah, and the Hawks divine at one point this season where I think they were like 4 and weren't they 4 and 9?
Yeah, they were Hawks down at the bottom.
Yep, they were 4 and 9, only to be 13 and 13 now.
Yeah, man. Look at that East. Look at the Eastern Conference, man. It's you look at from 9 down. We won game in the loss column from being in the ninth spot. If somebody else, the case may be. These next 2 games is important. They real important in the sense that if we can go 1-1, we'll take that. If we can go 2-0, that'd be obviously we don't think that's going to happen. But if we can go 1-1, split one of these games, and still that means we still 2 games under 500. That's good, knowing that the schedule gets a little softer. You know what I mean? So it'd be nice to get a split with these 2 home games and try to pull off a split between one of them guys. And but Sunday is a matinee. That's pretty tough for us sometimes because we're playing at 12 o'clock. So that's always a pretty tough thing, man. But let's see how these next 2 games go, man. Maybe we can catch a break here or there.
Yeah, I'll tell you how crucial splitting the next 2 is, because like I said, it gets easier. Not saying any game is easy, but it gets easier. So we got the Houston Rockets, then we have Celtics, then you have Pistons, then you have the Wizards, Hawks, Timberwolves, Pistons again, Thunder, Raptors again, Pacers, Celtics. See, like, if we just hover around that 500 and try and pull a 3, 4, 5 game win streak, that's the stretch that we really need.
Yeah, right before we go into February with that brutal one we got going on in February. They're going out West Coast and everything. We going out West. But Sha, I think the Texas game is important, Sha. I think we can get kind of to take one. I think it might ease a lot of it, make us feel pretty good knowing that you know we didn't salvage we salvaged one of it, didn't give up both of them.
Yeah, we need to come out Sunday for this Sunday, yeah, Sunday for this matinee game and win it. We need a win. We need a win to stop the bleeding again because that little bleeding that we were having before, we put the Band-Aid over it, but now we need a little suture to it or something like that to slow this bleeding down because right now we need to make a change, and the 15th is only around the corner, man.
Yep, word. All we can do is wait and see. Let's see Tom Thibodeau. I know he's not getting much sleep, trying to figure this thing out. But yeah, we're just seeing a trend, right? There are players that are continuously performing like average to well all the time. Obi Toppin most of the time. Quickly didn't play well tonight, but he's helping us out usually on the bench. Derrick Rose as well. The centers, it's the inconsistency of the centers. Inconsistencies Evan Fournier. And again, I know our defense helped us tonight, but when we can only score 87 points, like we were supposed to have solved our offensive issues in the off season, right? We're supposed to have taken a hit defensively and improved offensively, Divine.
Mm-hmm.
But we're 21st in the league before today in offense.
Yeah, I think that's abysmal.
So I think we're 24th, so 21st in offense when Kemba Walker came out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it hasn't got much better,
But you know what? In the press conference, CT and Shaw, they asked, I think it was Rebecca, I think it might have been Ian Begley, asked him about Obi Toppin. He asked Tibbs about Obi Toppin and the minute thing, and Tibbs say, you if you play well, you play more. Obviously, some of that nature. And right now, you're going to have to. I like what he did tonight. We played some good minutes tonight. I can't recall how many minutes he played. You had to pull up the stat, but this is one of the time that Tibbs let him play, and he produced it tonight, and produced it against a good team. You know what I mean? A good team got some good, and that's what I liked about tonight is that he produced well, and he did it against some nice tall wing defenders. So some height, some strength, some speed, and he held his own. And I would love to see that more often. So I'm hoping that he might have to think about that. And then if it don't, just like everything else, you gave Allen Burks an opportunity, you gave Noel an opportunity, right? If it don't work, you can always go back to what you do. And I think that now the time I think he should get Obi Toppin his opportunity. If it don't work, then you go back to what you know what I mean? It's not like at the end of the day, but I do think Obi Toppin deserved the minutes, man. Yeah, and I really think he do. He been waiting for this game the whole season. He been having a little bit 12 there, 14 there, getting close. But I think the man is getting better. He's learning more, and when he sat on the bench, man, I seen it in his eyes like, man, you seen the fire in Obi's eye when Tibbs pulled him out. I was like, I know he was like, man, I ain't want to come out that game. I get it. The 3-point ball, he hit one. He missed a couple of them. But what I like about Obi Toppin, he got the confidence to take the shot. Fournier scared to take it.
Scared to death. Like
at least Obi trying to take it. This other cat scared to take the shot. That's why I like Obi's situation right now. I think he's the only one on that team bringing that energy like that, and he playing with confidence. So that's the best thing to do is let him give him. So the only reason I bring that up because even Ian Begley asked him that question in the post game, and that was his response to that.
And salute to Manchild who was there
he was there. Salute Manchild
in the arena. He said he was screaming his lungs out. He was glad to see Obi breakout game live. That would have been nice. Yelling his lungs out to Tibbs to put Obi back in the game down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Career night. Sometimes you just got to keep him rolling. Career night. But this was bound to happen, right? He was bursting at the seams to have a breakout game like tonight. I think Obi's just getting more and more confident. If that shot starts falling, you're looking at a souped up Luka Samanic, basically.
If the shot stops, if it starts falling for Obi, the team better watch out because that 24 minutes that he had tonight, if he was 1 for 4, 5, 1 for 6, I think from 3-pointer tonight, 1 for 5, something like that. If he hits 3 for 5, and still giving the energy like he's giving tonight, he's easily going to be a 20-point scorer a night. That's going to be a problem.
Yep.
Word. Salute Eric. Salute D. Ross. And Manchild. That rebounding killed us. That Trent, double offensive rebound. It's like how many times? And then the Derrick Rose blow by contest as well. It's one thing to run out, but just blow by the player and let them pump fake you. That's not going to get it done either. They should be practicing these fundamentals because I see it every first, second game with these guys with closing out.
Yep.
Salute to Jeremy too. Welcome. He knows Obi personally. That's his guy. Happy for him. They salute. This might be an Obi burner account, so jump on the show. Nah, I'm just playing, but look, Obi should be looking. I'm glad, but he should be looking capable right now. He's in his sophomore season and he's 24 years old. Was the best college player in college, or arguably. It's time he starts playing a little bit more minutes, I think.
Starting to see it too. You seen Dayton Obi tonight. Only thing made Obi game tonight look bad was he missed a 3-point shot. That's it. You can't take nothing else from what that man did tonight, except where he just missed the 3-point ball at a high clip. Other than that, he played an all-around good game tonight. His rebounder was there. He was crashing the boards. His offense rebounder was decent. He was getting out there on a drive. And like I said, quickly, and Derrick Rose finding that man on that baseline. And I do think that 3-point ball will get better. And when Obi Toppin, like Shaw said, once that man get a 3-point consistent, at least even if it's just league average.
Yeah, that's it.
League average. Yeah, and obviously he's going to work on it. Obviously that's what they do. That's why his game got better this year. He went in the offseason and worked on it. And I think within this season, he's going to catch a stride with that 3-point shot. Because remember, RJ went through it last year. Shot 1 for something. And next thing you know, he caught fire with that 3-point shot. And I done seen a game where Obi hit three pointers in one game. So he got a good, he just got to get comfortable, to get more rhythm, more repetition. And I think tonight, I'm glad he took them shots. The man don't hesitate when it comes to doing that. And I love that about him. He's like, if I'm open, I'm shooting. If the shot was in the rhythm of the offense. And them 3-point shots he missed tonight, it's going to be one game where he knock him down. He's going to knock him down.
Yeah.
Max Jarvis. Yep. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. We're still in the building. I realize this isn't our finished product. Exactly. Like I said, this is the very start of the season. I'm not just saying this now. I knew this was part experimental. The Kemba Walker thing, I thought it was a 2-year experiment. I'm not going to say I thought it was this short, but I thought it was an experiment, 31 years old. That's not our point guard of the future, But at the end of the day, that Kemba thing just threw everybody off, I think it just deflated us a little bit. Even if his play wasn't helping, the fact that after 20-something games, Divine, you thought you brought in this big upgrade, and then all of a sudden you just see him sitting on the bench. Yeah, that's why I asked Mark Berman. I got a feeling that's got to have some people in the locker room feel in different ways.
Yeah, what's interesting to me, he wasn't the ultimate choice. He was a last minute thing, and that's why we are as a fan base. We also got to understand that wasn't their choice. He just happened to be available. After we couldn't get a lot of other guys. So the Knicks went after Mike Conley. But he signed with Utah. He signed back with Utah. They went after a couple of guys, but unfortunately, that some of the guys Mike Conley went back to where he went to. I think Lonzo Ball is like, whether if he had an opportunity to come here or not, I think he would rather play with Zach LaVine than Julius Randle and DeMar DeRozan. I just think that's why he went where he went. You know what I mean? Yep. And we lost out on a lot of guys because a lot of them, they re-signed with their guys, or they went somewhere else. We didn't have a lot of movement, a lot of point guard moving in a free agency this year. It wasn't a lot of guys out there. where would Kyle Lowry, whether he's either going to come here or he going to play in Miami where Jimmy Butler and them got a chance to win a ring. So we knew that wasn't because he didn't want to. I just think that was a better situation for him because I think they look like they feel like they could compete right now, And so it was Kemba Walker to me was just a last minute thing. You know what I mean? And they figure like for $9 million, maybe this man can repeat what he did last year in Boston, 19 a game. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm not mad at the Knicks for that because they took a gamble on that. I don't think that that was who they wanted at the beginning. Kemba Walker might not have been here. We would have got the right point guard would have been out there. So it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And other than this, I believe the man should be going. Not because he's not good, not because we don't respect him or love him, but he just ain't gonna work with the Knicks now. I think you done threw salt on the wound when you sat him on that bench and then put him in rotation. I don't know how you come back from that now. What are you gonna say now? All of a sudden I'm gonna throw you in the lineup because we lose.
Right.
No,
I don't think
he's not coming back. And what I do disagree with, Shah, is that Tibbs's analogy was I see him as a starter, so I can't play him anymore. See, I think Kemba will be great off the bench. I mean, how can you not say that he couldn't help a bench? He could come in, light it up. I think he'd be perfect in LA. I'd take Kendrick Nunn. If Kendrick Nunn gets healthy, I think he's about to get healthy. Send him over to LA and we take Kendrick Nunn.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
I take right now. He definitely is not gonna start again. And I don't know if you take him out as him being a starter and put him on the bench. I think that's the reason why they just took him all the way out the lineup. I don't think he was ready to come off the bench. And if we could get Kendrick Nunn for a easy swap trade like that for LA, where he could go to a good team that has a chance of going to the finals and stuff like that, I'll take it in a heartbeat for Kemba right now.
Yeah, because Kendrick Nunn plays defense, Divine.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, let me ask y'all a question. Just even though Tibbs might have something to do with Kemba not being taken out, but I also think that could be part of what the front office did too. I think they said, "Listen, Tibbs, if you're not going to start him, don't play him, for he won't get injured, for we could trade him."
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I do think it's not all on Tibbs because from a business standpoint, Scott Perry's like, listen, it was a experiment anyway, so let's not risk playing this man in the second unit, messing with his pride, and just don't play him or we'll trade him. It wasn't what we really wanted out the door, but listen, just take him out the lineup period, sit him on the bench, say them knees, so when it's time to deal him, we can say, you know what, we're not trying to deal you an injured player. So I just think that's, so I understand why Tibbs did, but I do think the front office got something to do with that as well. I do think they're looking at it from an investment standpoint, whereas if he's not working for the team, just don't risk us having a chance to get rid of him and then maybe he take a chance, he go in there and mess that knee up, maybe he just didn't know what happened. They wasted $9 million or $18 million. So they probably looking at it from a business standpoint as well. Like, nah, you know what? Don't even play him. We'll trade him.
Yep. No, I agree with that too. I think that's a pretty good way to go because we could seriously get something for Kemba this time. I don't care if it's a second round or whatever. If we have no use for him at all, I'll be fine with getting anything for him. Because it can't be like no Austin Rivers thing, like Frank, like just waving him or just letting him walk for nothing. Like you got a decent character guy on $8 million that could help a team. So let's make it happen. Someone will need him.
Hey, CT, depending on who he go to, you might can get a first. Let's go to a team who's a contender who got a late round first anyway. Like Lakers, they first pick gonna be in the 20s. So I think you can get the man scored 19 points a game. No, it is CT. He's just not working for our team.
Right.
Word.
So I think that man. I think you can get if you can get a first for Knox, a second for Knox. I know you can get a first for Kemba Walker. You know what I mean? In the right situation, I guess I would say, because the man ain't washed up. He's not washed up. He's not working for the New York Knicks. But I don't think the man is washed up. Because like I said, last year the man scored 19 a game.
Like, let's look at this, right? The Nuggets, they're in 8th. They're missing Michael Porter Jr. They're fighting for their lives. They could do with a Kemba.
Yep.
Minnesota Timberwolves are 9th. They could do with the Kemba, although I don't think we'd send him over there. But Dallas, like you said, are in 7th. Portland, they've committed to Damian Lillard today. That's some other news that's popped through. They're absolutely not trading Damian Lillard. They've said they've doubled down. They're in 11th spot. Hey, give Damian Lillard some help.
Yep.
Here you go. We take Robert Covington and something. You take Kemba and a pick or two.
Oh man, I'd be nice, Shop Howard. Robert Covington for Kemba.
That would be real nice.
Yeah, especially with my man CJ McCollum going down. Now you at least got some offense you could bring to the team. He's not CJ McCollum. But what I mean is, by committee, Kemba Walker can get you 10, 11 points, 15 points. You add another player to equal McCullough's numbers, and there you go. You know what I mean? At least to keep them formal till they figure something else out. But yeah, man, CT, I think that's why they're doing this thing, man. Hey, sometimes you make a bad decision. You can always correct it. You got time to correct it. And Kemba Walker might work out for it, but I don't think that it can't be corrected. And I think they know. I think they know that.
Facts. And there's some other news, Char, that the Ben Simmons trade talks are heating up. They're reaching, not final stages, but there's a lot of teams having fluid dialogue now, is what we're reading. And then also 3 team trades are being discussed. So I seriously hope we're getting involved in some of these 3 team deals, because we got the salary, we got the little pieces to help other teams. We got second round picks to chuck in. I think, I'm excited by all this trade talk.
Yeah, I'm been looking at a couple of things too. I hope the Knicks take the same initiative with Noel and sit him down if they're thinking about trading him so they can save his knee, because if they're planning on putting him in the package or trying to get rid of him right now, and he's already been hurt for half the season already, we need to really sit him down and implement somebody into his spot. We don't need him to get hurt and can't move him, and then we stuck with him for the rest of the year. I hate to say it like that. Was that mean? My bad.
Not at all.
But one thing that did bug me was the Frank thing. Like, we could have groomed Frank to step into Reggie Bullock's role. Hit the corner 3, don't need the ball, like Devine said, and play D.
Yeah,
facts.
That make it interesting. Excuse me, Shy, because that's what make it interesting about that. When we heard what Mark Berman said that they didn't want Fournier, they wanted DeRozan. I'm gonna tell you why it's interesting to me, because you could have gave Reggie Bullock and, like I always say, Reggie Bullock and Burks Fournier's money. You didn't even need to do that. You know what I mean? So I can see where that go, but I think I think they starting to CT. I think they starting to realize that they got to do something different. I guess they just doing their due diligence. You know what I mean? They doing their due diligence, figuring out what's going to be out there. They making phone calls, bro. Come on. That's what businesses do. They Scott Perry and Leon Rosen on the phone, wheeling and dealing. World Wide Web's probably working it, whatever you got to do the way he do it. But I'm quite sure they looking at this roster right now and being like, if we're gonna salvage the season, because them cats do not want to have a 41-31 season and then next year just totally stink it up. I don't think unless you're going to. I don't think James Dolan would be happy with that. And I never talk about James Dolan, but you went from a 4th seed, 41-31, to all of a sudden being in a play-in.
And then you got the Scott Perry thing. Like I said, he could be the scapegoat that they say, hey, we're just to save face. Worldwide West and Leon might just say, hey, you have our blessing. Go with Chauncey, and we package him in a trade to Portland. It's
Makes
beautiful.
Sense. Makes sense.
I mean, right now, everything comes across and it makes sense right now, because we need to get some wins together. And the one thing that I know for sure, if no one else is leaving this team this year, I believe they are going to try to move Kemba for something, and I hope they get it done for his sake. And I love to see him on the bench when the team is doing good and he jumps out there. He really love the guys when they're coming off the course and stuff like that. And He's real he's a real good guy, man. But I don't want him to get stuck here for nothing. If we can get him to somewhere, and he can, the thing about him moving somewhere, he may have to know that he's not going to be considered a starter anymore. And that's going to be the one thing that he's going to have to remember if he gets moved in any trade. I don't see any of the teams out there putting Kemba as a starter right now. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, CT, real quick. Hey, let me tell you what would be a storybook ending, or one of the. Here's how the Knicks can correct the Kemba Walker situation. Send him to LA. Him and Carmelo Anthony, two New Yorkers. Him and Carmelo Anthony from New York got a chance to win a ring. Send him to LA to the Lakers. Him and Carmelo Anthony, two New York bred young men on a championship squad. What they've been chasing their whole career.
A ring.
Send that man to LA. Brian, put him on there with the Lakers. Get the Lakers a little bit more depth off the bench because Kemba Walker and I know he'll perform well in LA because they do got a little bit of that. They got some dogs right there where he don't even got to even try to think about being a dog. He don't even got to even think about that. He just could just do what he do. I think the Knicks send him out there for somebody and see how it go. You know what I mean? Because I think that'd be a beautiful landing spot for him. I just think that the story, if the Lakers win a ring and Carmelo Anthony finally get a ring with Kemba Walker.
But you know what? Also, the battle of LA teams will compete for Kemba. I think the Clippers would love to get their hands on him. And I got to disagree with Knicks 100. I do think Kemba will have some suitors. He might look ugly with us, but there will be teams that can get him for almost nothing that would love, even if it's a second rounder.
Yeah, there were a couple of teams. They didn't mention the names, but there were about three teams. Yeah, 4 teams, right? All interested in something about Kemba. So he's not a scrub, man. And if he can really understand that he's going to probably be the rest of his year is going to probably be coming off the bench, he'll be fine.
And you got to think too that the league looks at Knicks differently. They think we're the problem. There's still people that think we shouldn't have done what we did to Kemba, that we did him dirty, and they're probably thinking, "Oh, LOL, Knicks." Now, Kemba can look real good in our system, or vice versa, or something like that. So, I also want to say this: Evan Fournier may not be the dude that needs to be traded too, because Nerlens Noel's contract, package that with Kevin Knox's contract, that's $16 million right there.
$16 million.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Even if you add Kemba with that, that's 25.
That's what I was about to say. That's about 25 million right there.
Yeah.
And that's a point guard for you, a small forward for you, and a center for you. I don't see any team that would that is trying to make a push. That's trying to make a push that wouldn't go for it. Depends on who you want to, who wants them. That's the biggest thing. But that's 26 million right there.
And Nerlens Noel and Kemba Walker to the Dallas Mavericks for Jalen Brunson, because I don't think they're going to sign Jalen Brunson.
And Knox, because he's expiring. Kevin Knox is going to be real attractive to people, because that $6 million is just going to vanish at the end of this season.
Right.
Yep.
So that's why I said I'm not panicking, I still think what we did infrastructure wise we good, and that's why I'm happy that regardless of what happened, we ain't in a bad situation. We can get out of this with in the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
We can get out of it with a snap of a finger, and that's why I'm not mad at the Noel thing. It was almost like putting money in the bank and then you got to use it. You can move that Noel contract is movable. Knox is movable. Kemba Walker is movable. And I think that's why they did it. I think people don't understand. I think they signed them guy because they knew that the free agent market had kind of dried up. It wasn't nobody out there who was going to take us over the top. It was guys on free agency who would have got us maybe to the third step of the second round, maybe. But it wasn't no free agent that we could have got. I'm saying that I think would have took the Knicks to that next level. So they probably said, you know what? Let's make these desirable contracts, bring these guys back. Because we did have a good season with them. And then maybe they said bring Noel and Burks back because they was part of that 41-win team, but them contracts, and we ain't even talking about Alex Burks $10 million, which is easy to move. You know what I mean?
Easy.
So, yeah, we got almost $50 million. That money we spent at free agency, all of it could be moved, every dime of it. So
yeah,
and I think that's what they got to look at.
That's why I said they didn't. They may have made some bad moves, but they didn't cripple themselves. You know what I mean?
And we still got a whole bunch of first rounders and second rounders to add to any one of these potential trade things going on right now. So to make it even more a little more scrumptious for somebody to want to take it, if they really want to take it, they want to move their one person and they take 2 or 3 people in a first round or 2 second rounds. It makes it more enticing.
Yeah, we have stashes. We can. Some players may not want a contract, but the rights to Rokas would be attractive. The rights to Luka Samanic or something.
ACT and think about it. Let's say if you had a chance to deal Noel, Knox, let's say you and Kemba Walker. Right, check this out. This is how the
John Wall.
and you know what? You bring in one player, you got rid of 3, and let's just say you get rid of Wayne Selden. You got 4 roster spots, bro.
Right.
4. Because you moved out 3 and brought in 1, and you waived 1. So one of them guys came in. You still got 3 roster spots that you could bring up Samanic and go get 2 more players that really to help this team.
Lance.
So they in a good situation, man. And like I said, I'm not mad at what's going on right now. I'm just disappointed in the win and loss column. But I'm not worried. I don't think the Knicks is I think they're in a good spot. And people could hate on the Knicks all they want to. I think what the Knicks did this year, CT and Shaw, I think they said let's bring Noel back, bring Alex Burks back, and then when we get ready to make that move,
tradable contracts.
We know that we good to go. We got good trade bait and draft picks. So I think that's what they did. I think the Knicks thought they were going to be able to come out the gate a little better than they was with Fournier and Kemba. I thought they thought they were going to be better than this, but I don't think it's the end all. I don't think it's the end all be all. I do think they got some good maneuvering ability to go on forward.
And fellas, real quick, Shah. There's buyout market, and there's other teams in the West that'll start to fall out of the race, like Sacramento and things.
I mean, I was just about to say, I forgot what I was about to say. We got a whole bunch of tradable contracts right now, and we're really not far out of it. Like we were saying, like you just said, Devon. I said also we moved 3 or 4 of these players and waive this guy Selden off the line. We'll have 4 open roster spots. You know what I mean? And that's enough to get the player, whoever we're going to get in, and maybe even bring Luka up from the G League and, starts. It's a whole lot of things. We got a whole lot of picks and a whole lot of things that we could do. And I just hope that soon we strike and make a move quick. And maybe if things still don't look that great, one more move before the trade deadline or something like that,
Yeah, I just think there's got too much at stake. Like Divine said, you got Worldwide West, Leon, their credibility's at stake.
Yes.
They want to fix this thing real swift. If Kemba and Fournier's moves haven't worked out, they'll be like, okay, well, we gave Burks 10 million, we gave Noel 10 million so we could move them.
I mean, even if you look at Fournier's contract and Kemba with a Noel and a Knox, we're looking at about 30 something million dollars right there. Yeah, 30 something million dollars right there.
And then ACT and then a shot. Then you just find a max player who might got a couple of years left on their contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All them guys got 2-year deals, right? I mean, they got 3 years, but only 2 guaranteed, basically. So you find one of them guys out there, I don't care who it is, for 30 million, and they only got a couple of years left on their deal. So it expires the same time that the other 2 would have anyway. That gives them a chance to compete for 2 years. And then once the 2 years is up, contract's gone. You got your $40 million back or your $30 million. And I think that's what the Knicks are doing to me. I think they're trying to find somebody. I don't think they want to take on a 5-year contract. As much as they love De'Aaron Fox, I think they scared if you get De'Aaron Fox and Julius Randle, that puts us in the finals. If not, I mean, even if you had to add pieces to them, you got RJ, Randle, De'Aaron Fox. Does that put us over? And if it's over, I'm wondering, do they want to invest 5 years? Because then you're going to have to spend RJ too. But I do believe RJ, Fox, and Randle, and maybe a couple of teams might can get us there if you put a couple of pieces around it. So I think it's interesting where we at, man. I say all that is that we got to watch out coming around the corner, because I think the Knicks they're gonna do something. I think this was their whole game plan. I remember them saying that very well. They said the Knicks they're not gonna go on free agency. They said they're gonna wait for a disgruntled star, and they're gonna go at it. That was Leon Rose. Them, you know what I mean? That was their style of thinking that let's just find somebody disgruntled. They team want to move from them, and then we see what's up. And I just think they're in a good place to do that.
And salute Knicks 100 too. Made a good point with Taj. Taj got to go, but for one reason for me is that he could be a great mentor, coach dude on the side, and you take his roster spot open now. Mm-hmm. So we're cooking with some ingredients now.
Mm-hmm. Taj can surely be a big man coach, whatever coach you want to put him in on the to not leave him, because I think Taj would like to retire as a New York Knick with Tibbs. And I mean, that's another spot open. I mean, we got a couple of, Evan, Kemba, Knox, Noel, I hate to say it. I don't want Mitch to go, but if something comes down the pipeline where the one thing why I don't want to lose Mitch is because like you said, Devon, he's only $1.8 million, man. I don't want to lose him for nothing. And he can finish out this year, and with $1.8 million, with the production that he gives for everybody shoots Mitch down and talks about Mitch and stuff like that. But Mitch is getting paid $1.8 million, 8 rebounds and 7 points for one and a defensive presence down low for $1.8 million. I'm keeping Mitch.
Yeah, yep. That's a business savvy move. That sometimes it's not always about the numbers, man. It ain't all about how many points or this and that. It's about what you're getting for the value.
For the value.
What you're getting from Mitch is the value for like Shaw said, $1.8 million. And you can't think about this here. And I say this all the time because it's funny. Rudy Gobert made $198 million more than Mitchell Robinson. Not $98 million, $198 million more than Mitchell Robinson. Come on. Yeah. So all that buzzkill about Mitchell Robinson, come on, man. Let the man play out his year, just like Frank did, just like Knox is doing, just like the Knicks kept the guy there 4 years and they didn't bring him back. And for $1.8 million, you know what I think I would do with Mitch? Here's what I think the Knicks is doing. You know why they didn't extend Mitch? Because they could bring him back cheaper. And they don't got to. If they let Mitch pay through the year and say, you know what, Mitch, we can't give you $11 million a year, but we can give you $8 million.
Right, exactly. You know I mean? And I think he'll take that in a heartbeat.
He know what he up against in his career. And so even if you say, okay, Mitch, think with DeAndre Ayton, you know why Phoenix didn't sign him? They know they're gonna sign that boy. But at the same time, you also want to negotiate and have bargaining power. You know what I mean? Because they feel like if somebody outbid them, if they outbid them, then, oh, well, y'all got us. Then we just didn't bring them back. You know what I mean? We lost them. But I think the thing with Mitchell Robinson is this here. Let the man go through the season and see how it progresses. And at the next year going into the free agency, Mitch might say, you know what, Knicks? Just give me, I'll do 2 years. I'll do 2 years, $16 million. He necessarily got to extend him, I don't think. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of ways you can maneuver that. That I think they could have did the same thing with Frank. Look what Frank got for Dallas.
Yeah, it was a sad. And I'm a fan of. I need one center. I'm a fan of either Mitch or Noel, but I need the other center to be able to shoot. Yeah, I can't have 2 non-offensive centers. You know what I mean? Everyone in the NBA got some big man that can stretch you out.
I feel you.
And apparently Mitch is supposed to be able to shoot threes. He does it in the gym, but we haven't even seen him take a jump shot, Divine, in his whole time. Do you think that's on the coach?
That's a good question. I always wondered what it was. And I'm not sure. I don't want to say it is or not because I thought that I don't know if it could be his confidence. And that's a good question. But like I said, and I say it over and over again, Mitchell Robinson is worth every penny he get. Every penny he worth. The man get $1 million. And like I said, you can't whether you like him or not, you can't question that. That's a business savvy move the Knicks did with Mitchell Robinson. That man was a 36 pick. You know what I mean? He wasn't drafted high. So you asking a man to be something y'all probably want him to be that he's not because he got drafted that low. That's the reason why he got drafted down there. Not because he supposed to have been a superstar, not because he supposed to have been the sixth man of the year center. No, he got drafted 36 for a reason. But his value for a 36 pick, the other night, nobody was tripping when Mitch put up 13 and 16 or whatever.
Word up.
14. Ain't nobody tripping that night. You
Word up.
not take a man give you 11 points or 14 rebounds or 4 block shots for $1 million. If you think that's not legit, then you dealing with hyperbole. That's hyperbole. Mitchell Robinson only make $1 million, and that man doing what he doing. And look at Jackson Hayes. Remember Jackson Hayes for look where he at now. He in the G League. But so I think if you understand basketball, it's a lot of guys in this league. You can go back for years who just was serviceable. Mitchell Robinson is a serviceable center. He's not an all-star center. He's not an MVP center. He's a serviceable big man that can give you something on a basketball team. That's all we asking Mitch to be. We're not asking Mitch to be Kareem, outdo Jabbar, and nobody. We asking that man to block shots, get rebounds, and help anchor the Knicks defense. And whatever they think it is, how much money they want to pay him, so be it. But the gate tonight was the reason why the Knicks was close to that game. Because when Noel came out that first quarter and Mitch came in that second quarter, look what happened to the game. He changed it. He changed it down there. So
sure did.
Crazy stuff about Mitch all you want to. He might not be who y'all wanted to be, but the man is a serviceable big man in the NBA. No matter if he's not with the Knicks, somebody's gonna pick Mitch up. I don't care who it is, because his skill sets allows him to stay in the NBA. Maybe not at a high level, but he stays in the NBA.
Yeah, you noticed tonight. Definitely when Mitch was in on the court, either the player driving to the hole shot a high arcing shot, or drove to the hole and spun around and passed the ball back out.
Correct.
So it wasn't too many, and that's what Mitch does. I'm always hopeful for Mitch, man. I want Mitch to. My thing for Mitch this year, I wanted him to do something like 13, 15, and 2 blocks, 2.5 blocks. But you know what Mitch also does instead of 2.5 blocks? He intimidates at least 6 to 10 shots a night when he's on the court. So he may not always block the ball, but he intimidates. He makes people change their shot or alter their shots.
There you go.
Exactly. $1.8 million. I'm holding on to Mitch as long as I can.
I'm still wait and see on this year in terms of what I want to commit. Like let's see him, play consistent, and let's see him stay healthy. But he definitely influences the game defensively when he's in shape too, and he's a rim disruptor. I just need a second center that can do something different. Like that's why I said the Nerlens thing, giving him $10 million was an indication that they weren't either 100% sold on Mitch, or they thought we just lock Noel down so we don't lose him for nothing, and that we also get something for him. $10 million.
Yeah, I think from a business standpoint, that's why you can go get Miles Turner and trade Noel, because Mitch only getting 100. He's a backup center right now anyway, right? So you send out Noel, somebody, blah blah blah, and you bring in Miles Turner. Now you got Miles Turner and Mitchell Robinson as your defense anchors in New York City. That's damn good right there. You know what I mean? They both premier shot blockers, and you can use what's his name? Miles Turner at your starting 5, stretch the floor, hit the 3. He's a good defensive shot blocker, and then you can bring Mitchell Robinson in with that second unit. That is ridiculous, bro. You know what I mean? Because now you're not going to be able to keep Noel and Miles Turner. That's $28 million. Noel and Miles Turner. I mean, Mitch and Miles Turner is only $19 million. You saving $9 million. So this stuff. I think that's what's going to happen to me if they do anything. They move a Nerlens Noel and maybe some maybe Knox or some aspirants, and maybe if it's a draft pick too, then you go down to Indiana and say, okay, we'll give you this snap for Miles Turner. That's all.
Yep.
That's all. Simplest thing to do.
Simple and easy. Go down there, offer them 2 guys and maybe maybe a first round or 2 second rounds or something like that. If the way we talk about Miles Turner, if we really want him, what would we give up for him to get him here? What would we do? What I would do is I would give up a Noel. I would throw in Knox in there too. I would throw in 2 second round picks or even a first. You got to entice these guys to make them want to make the trade, because if you just offer them Noel and Knox, I don't know if they're going to make the trade, but you offer them a first round and a second round with Knox and Knox and Noel, I think they might take, especially if they're talking about blowing the team up. If they're talking about blowing the team up and they get 2 first round pick, a first round pick and a second round pick for next year, I want to see, and plus 2 players, yeah, that's a win-win right there.
And they move a contract. That's what's good.
Yeah,
they getting Miles Turner money back and they gaining draft picks. The name of the game is business. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's why I'm not too concerned about this thing. But I do think that we're gonna do something. CT, we're gonna make a move here or there. I know we are, but I think we're in a good place to make moves. I really do. I think we're in a good place to make some good moves, man. And I'm not sentimental or trying to get attached to anybody. I always try to look at it from not only from a player standpoint, from a business side of it too, because sometimes we talk about we want these players, we want them players, but we're not looking at the business side of it.
We can't get them. The contract's too big, or
And if going forward, the flexibility with the organization, we can go out and get this guy, but what about this guy cash strap us for 6 years? And then we wind up stuck with that contract for 6 years, and we wind up not getting over. So I like the way Scott Perry and them did it. They taking on 2-year deals to keep Scott Perry. He might not have liked the stuff that he might have picked, but you cannot knock him for what he did with the Knicks' infrastructure. You want to give him a C for the player that he drafted and but you better get that man an A for that infrastructure that he willed and dealt in New York. Because Leon Rose got here last year. Scott Perry was here when they got them 6 picks and had that cap space with Porzingis. Got rid of English Cantor's contract, got rid of DeAndre Jordan's contract, got rid of Wesley Matthews' contract, brought in Derrick Rose, had us $50 million over cap space, cap flexibility, draft picks, and to this day, we really still got the money because them contracts that he spent it on, they can get rid of them in a year or 2. So and that's the part of the business where I always try to look at it from not just from a basketball standpoint, but the whole overall thing, man. And I think he did a good job of that, and I think the Knicks is in a good place. I'm not dead on the team yet, guys. I really believe that it might have to be some wheeling and dealing. Like I said, you went and got this girl that you liked it, but she didn't pan out. You and her went to go in a relationship. Y'all got in a relationship, and then it didn't work out. Y'all had to go y'all ways. Well, that's Kemba Walker in the Knicks. Then it could be Evan Fournier in the Knicks. You got in a relationship, shit didn't work out. Now you got to go your own ways. That's all.
Yes. What up, Beans?
What up, fellas, man?
Fake, what's good, bro?
Shout out CT, Devon, my boy Shaw.
Yes, sir.
Man, very humbled, man. I was just saying this earlier, man. Like, this whole trade deadline is gonna let me know, man, if the Knicks are serious or not, man.
Facts.
Like, it's getting frustrating, my G. Like, First of all, I ain't gonna say it was a bad game because after the second quarter, it was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like during the second, when we came back and all that, but just to go out there to that slow type of start, knowing what happened to us in Indy, just felt like I don't know, man. It was just real bad, man. As long as we suffer at the point guard situation, in the center situation, we're gonna be doomed, y'all. If we don't get no floor general in here, no real floor general, and a real center that can produce, not just rim running block shots, we're gonna be in trouble.
Facts.
As long as Randall is our number one decision maker going down the stretch or whenever, we're gonna be in trouble. And you know what? We done been through this how many years now? Like it's like it's starting to just weigh on me like just the same old Knicks. Like we got one good year out of 10, and it's like, all right, I'm just gonna cherish the year we had last year because this is it's getting out of control, man. It make you don't even want to watch. Like that's how bad it's getting. Like I don't know, man. Somebody talk me off the legs, please. Like this is getting out of control.
Just know we got draft picks, man. We got picks and we got tradable contracts, man. And I think this front office this year has a better mindset to what they've been having for the last couple of years. So let's lean into Leon Rose and hope that he can make some wheeling and dealing well Wild West. Willing and dealing. We need a move. We need a move. Stay optimistic. We still here, man. We right here. We only 3 games out of we're in 12th place now. We only 3 games out being 5th place right now. We just need a little run. We need a little cushion, and we got some hard games coming. But you know how these Knicks do us, man. You know how these Knicks do us, man. We sit here. We get upset. We want to make trades, and the next 2 games they come out and they'll blow Golden State and beat the crap out of Milwaukee. So just stay optimistic, man. 15th is right after that.
Yeah. They played good, CT. Like tonight, like I said, other than that first quarter, they played good basketball, man. This was the best defense we had. And think about it, we only gave up 90 points.
90 points.
We've been looking for that all year. You know what I mean? I know I have. You know what I mean? So that means they found, what did they find tonight? They found their defense identity tonight. And we've been lacking a defense identity all season long. They finally showed what they was up to last year, that identity on defense. You know, but obviously because of 3 of our starting players average combined together to only make 16 points. You know, but I'm happy with the effort on defense. And I do agree that first quarter beams, we got to get that together, man. I mean, that's going to be our Achilles heel the rest of the season if we don't get that together, man. And salute to Jarvis, man. Jarvis in the building, man. Salute to Jarvis. I just wanted to piggyback off you about that. But I think we good, man. The ship ain't sinking yet. You know, we just got to try to get back at it, man, and get this thing popping. I think the Knicks going to be all right. I ain't jumping off the ship yet. You know what I mean? Not at all.
Nah, I'm not definitely not jumping off the ship. I'm always going to be a Knicks fan, but it's like, damn, like
I get it, bro.
I get it,
bro. Real talk.
It's like we've seen this movie.
Come on over, like, you know what I'm saying? After all these years of just getting your ass beat, excuse my language, it's like you take enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Yeah. And then Tibbs with these substitute, like, we would think about now he got the right substitution pattern. Like that at the end, why did you take Obi out to pit Burks back in? Like, you supposed to let that young boy ride. He eating. You see him having a career night. He out there, him and Randall playing great together. Why pull him to pit Burks or Fournier back in?
The vets. He trusts these vets, you know, and he just, man, he's married to them, you know. And salute Jarvis, salute fam, hope you're well. But yeah, I'm not jumping off no ledge either. I just think I'm happy for moves. You know, I'm excited to hear this roster spots open. I'm excited to hear that, you know, Philly's discussing 3-team trades now and hoping we can get in on it.
Roster spot? What roster spot open? What I missed?
No, I was just saying if we trade, like if you wanted to waive Wayne Selden and you trade Noel, Burks, and Knox, that's 4 roster spots open.
Yep. Facts.
Yeah,
And they're all
definitely. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, they're all movable, right? Knox only making $6 million. Kemba, someone will take him. Wayne Selden can be waived today. Noel, $10 million. He could be moved. So, yeah, you may hate the Fournier deal, but we got enough money that we can shed. I think that to be okay. But what moves they'll make, I don't know.
No cap. That's what we need to get rid of, and I hate to say it, but we don't need no year or two to see if he gonna pan out. He's not what we need for this team.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not it.
I agree. Yeah.
Noel or Fournier?
Fournier.
Oh.
You Noel smoking on something up out of here too, but Fournier, they took a swing and missed, and I just want to see how they correct it.
Yep, word. Jarvis, did you see tonight? You see any of the action?
Actually, no, I didn't really get to see any of the game tonight, and I hate that I couldn't see the game tonight. I happened to see a little bit of the box scores or whatever, so I kind of just was peeping in on podcasts and trying to get filled in and filling the pulse of everybody. Yeah. But look, man, I had to come on. I wasn't going to come on, but I kind of feel for my man Baked Beans, man. He made me come on. I feel for him. Because I can understand exactly his sentiment and what he's saying, but this is how I'm looking at things. This is why, man, I had already settled in my mind that I wasn't going to get too high and I wasn't going to get too low. Certain projections at this point, of course, there was optimism and there was maybe a little bit of hype that probably was bought in a little bit from the beginning. But if you notice, man, the pulse of pretty much people were pretty much in tune to saying maybe a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people was thinking maybe from 47 to 52 wins. And I think that was based off of more than just only last season. I think it was also based off of the start that we was having this year. And we knew that we wasn't playing very good basketball, but we would figure it would only get better as they find their rhythm, find out how to play together, find out how to get acclimated. We knew we substituted defense for offense, but we wouldn't recognize that we wasn't going to get to offense.
Right.
And we figure at some point they would at least get a little better on the team defense aspect. So what it is, you have to just take accountability and say, you know what, kind of failed the experiment. I have been for having Fournier coming off the bench. Some people agreed with me, some didn't. You had some individuals were saying, I agree, but man, $19 million, I don't believe they should do that. And my only response to that was sometimes you have to go against what's conventional for the betterment of the team. If he plays better with the second unit and we can get him going, ain't it better than just having him in the first unit and not getting him going? So It's just things that can be doing. But I'm optimistic about this team because what makes me optimistic about it is not the fact that we're getting a lot of W's in the win column as opposed to losses. We were like 2 losses under 500. But the fact that we're in a good space and have a good future. We didn't mortgage anything and cripple ourselves from being able to find out how to advance going forward. What I think is happening right now, and I'm so glad this is happening. Us as Knicks fans, and I'm speaking on behalf of that aspect, not just necessarily my mind state, but just on behalf of my Knicks family. We are so in the dark about what the direction of the organization, how they're looking to go, and we're frustrated because they're not leaking anything.
Yeah, facts.
So it's like, give us something so we can know what y'all doing, what y'all going on. But then at times we praise them for being tight-lipped. So that's why I say, man, let them operate. What's really going on behind the scenes? They got eyes. They are evaluating. They hear the chatter. They hear the frustration and the pulse of Knicks fans. Worldwide West them be at every game, and they be in the midst of the crowd. They feel what's going on. So I say, let this thing ride. And I just say now it's just time to just temper back our expectations. So we don't feel so heartbroken and so low and so down and so out of it. If we just take this thing and say, you know what, let's take this thing a game at a time. And then sometimes when you see certain negatives, only thing you can do is hang on to the positives and where you see you can implement things getting better. Any little step toward getting better should be welcome. It ain't like we've been winning for the last 10, 15 years. So it's new challenges, and even in that, and constructing and building this roster and learning how to build a winner. And so there's gonna be mistakes that is made. Just people have to just be accountable, and I want to see them be accountable for themselves. Take this L for how the Kemba situation and Fournier situation worked out, and move on. Because if you stay there and stay in the past and stay what's negative, you can't move forward.
Yep. Hey, facts, Jarvis. Hey, fellas, let's get around and get everyone's closing words before we close this thing down. And we got a game, obviously, a matinee, I believe, Divine. Is it Sunday?
Sunday? Yes, sir.
Yep. Give us your thoughts on that. Beans, we got Golden State. We got Milwaukee, then Golden State. And we're staring at 4 games under 500. It gets better.
Yeah, I know how we play in these damn matinees. So against Golden State, I know what that is. I hate to say that's an L.
It's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
I'll feel a little better, but it depends on how we take that L on Sunday. If we get ran out the building, then Milwaukee is a no-go. You know what I'm saying? Like if we fight, give it 100% from the door, then I can see us messing with Milwaukee. It depends on how we take that L. You know what I'm saying? So,
Beans, let me make sure you're on the same page. We play Milwaukee first.
Oh, we play Milwaukee first.
Right.
Yeah.
We play Milwaukee Sunday. I just wanted to make sure you understood that, because I thought you were going in a different direction.
Okay. All right, man. Okay. You know what?
Let's hope they have an injury.
That's what I'm saying, Beans. You know what? We play good against them boys, man.
That's a win. I'm gonna say that's a win, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm win at the Garden finally. When the last time we won at the Garden? And that's crazy to say. Like, but when was the last time we won home? Rockets?
Yep. Forever. Jesus was a baby, in the words of Soulfinger.
Wow. So I'm Sunday, man. A nice prep game, and then when we got another one after that, the Golden State. I say we gonna, because Golden State ain't playing with nobody right now.
For real.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yep.
They're not playing with nobody. So I'm gonna say that, man. I just want to see the direction get better, y'all. I hope we look like a professional team. I hope the second unit ain't got to come in and bring us back by 2030 like they usually do. I just hope we get it together, man. And I hope they do something with this trade deadline. That's what I'm really waiting on, man. I want to see what the front office going to do. Now that they see, know what's going on, what are y'all going to do next? Because we watching. Everybody's watching. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see what they going to do, man. And that's that. I would love to hear y'all takes, man, on what's going on, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, Beans. And we're 4th last in the East now. Sharp hours. We are staring at a possible 3 to 4 games under 500. But I'm with Beans. What's having me more excited is not the next couple games, but see what we can get for Kemba, shake things up. Because Tibbs doesn't want to go down, I don't think, on this sinking ship. I think more losses like this, more games under 500, and we will see a bigger shake-up.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking on the 15th, Selden gets waived. Later on in that week, I believe they're gonna try to figure out something to get Kemba to a promising team so they could get him off the books. And after that, if we don't move, with the move with Kemba, if we don't put Noel or Fournier or something into the mix with that move, I at least think we're going to move Kemba. I'm hoping that they're willing and dealing, and and make it go down to Christmas time, and right after we play Atlanta on Christmas, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah. So I hope after that Atlanta game, if we haven't made any trades, that would be the time to break the ice and go all in and see who we can move, who we can get out of here, and solidify the team by Christmas time. On that note, I'm out of here. I've got to get ready to go to work. Peace out to CT, Divine, Jarvis, and Beans. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, brother.
Salute,
Shark Powers.
Salute, bro.
Peace.
Salute. Great takes. We're all looking ahead to see what's coming up because these guys are feeling more pressure than we are for sure. And
exactly,
we're just sitting back and watching Jarvis, and let's hope we can at least split the next two.
Hey, I hear you, and that's why this is just one game at a time. Only thing I'll say, man, look, man, it's time to fight. Right, you got to fight for your season, fight for your roster spots, fight for your own confidence. you got to fight, man. My advice to people like Knox is, look, man, shake your step. When you in practice and you get an opportunity to practice, take that like you in an actual game. You go at it like that, then maybe they'll be like, okay, man, we might want to try Knox, man. So some things is just not going to be handed to you. Some things is just not going to be given to you. Some things you're going to just have to take matters into your own hands on something. This is your career we're talking about. If you don't fight for it, who will?
Word. Right. Yeah, great.
So some things is just it's just some things you're just gonna have to take, man. As much as we can sit back as fans of the team and do all this rah, and y'all do this and do that, and I would do this if I was in this position, and Tibbs should do this, and whatchamacallit should do that. Sometimes it just boils down to just good old fashioned pride. I'm just gonna take it on myself that I got to play better. Ain't nothing wrong with your eyes. Ain't nothing wrong with your hands and legs. You get in there, and there was a thing that happened when you be in school. CT, baked beans, and Divine. When you struggling in a subject, you have to go get a tutor, right? Somebody that's gonna help you develop better in the subject you want to. It's time to stop waiting on Tibbs if you some of these players. For you, what you do is take the initiative. Okay, man, look, you got to have a real conversation with yourself. What's wrong with you taking time to go and take yourself outside of being in the tape room with everybody else? Look, that's what I respect about Mark Aguirre. Mark Aguirre, on his own, went back and evaluated and tried to see what can be done to help this team get better when he was on the Detroit Pistons. And the conclusion he came to was, you know what, man, I see we would do better if we implement Dennis Rodman into the starting lineup. And he meant over himself. And he was willing to come off the bench, and he seen that as a way to help the team. And you know what? That did help Detroit. So sometimes, man, you just got to take matters into your own hand.
Facts. Yep. Great point. D, take us out.
Yeah, real point. I just want to piggyback off a couple of things. That was an important point that Jarvis just said, and I'm going to bring that up to now. That's the reason why I said take Fournier out and put Obi Toppin in. For the same reason he just said, Mark Aguirre was a pure scorer.
Yep.
They didn't need his scoring. They needed Dennis Rodman's attributes.
Yes.
Say that with Fournier, why you put Obi Toppin in. We need Obi Toppin's attributes. We don't need his scoring. That's the same exact thing that the Detroit Pistons did with Mark Aguirre. We got scores in here, bro. But who rebounding? Who's hustling up and down the court? I just wanted to get great points, Jarvis. I wanted to put that out there because that's what I was trying to piggyback to the new, but this 2-time now. Obi Toppin can make a difference in that starting lineup because he's not somebody who demands to have the ball in his hand. We got 3 guys in there doing that already. I just wanted to put that out there. I think overall 90-87, we took an L tonight. I like a lot of things I've seen tonight. I like the way our defense played in the last 3 quarters, 20 points a quarter. That was phenomenal. I could say that I was happy to see that. I was happy to see the maturation of Obi Toppin tonight, 19 and 10. Getting comfortable as more and more being in the NBA. He's starting to get his foot on. He's starting to get comfortable playing in the NBA. I think the best is yet to come from him. Tonight was almost an Dayton Obi Toppin tonight. We seen Dayton Obi Toppin tonight. So I was happy with that. He got to work on that 3 ball. I understand that, and it will. He get better. You put work in, you practice, you get better. You get better at it. I like what I seen for Obi Toppin tonight. I really did. Disappointing with Alex Burks 1 point, Fournier 9 points, and Noel 6 points. 3 major positions in your start lineup only combined to make 16 points. That's unacceptable. 16 points from 3 guys in your starting lineup, and the 3 guys they was guarding knocked down a total of 54 points. That's a 30-something point swing in your starting lineup. So I was disappointed about that, but I was happy about RJ going home tonight. I think that was phenomenal for him. And what we got to do with this team, we wonder if the Knicks, why I think Knicks are letting their actions speak loud in their word. We say they don't ever leak nothing. They're not saying nothing. They letting their actions talk. You know why? They benched Kemba Walker to get him out of here. So their actions are speaking. They doing something. They might not be telling you, but to take him out of the rotation, get ready to put him on a trade block means they are doing something. They just not talking about it, but the actions is showing. So I do think, we just got to let them guys do their work. And I think we're going to be all right, man. But it's a big game coming up the next 2 days, guys. Hopefully we can get a split. Hopefully we can win both of them. I would love to come out with a split. And then, we let's stay excited, man. Let's not lose hope in the team. It's still early. Like I said, we 2 games under, not 6 games under. You know what I mean? We get past the 2 games, like CT said. Then we got a pretty. The schedule is not easy, but it's not hard as it is. The previous one we just recently had. So let's see, man. Let's try to stay optimistic at this Knicks fan. I know the disappointing loss, just from a standpoint, man. That 30-point first quarter. That there's Achilles heel, Beans, and everybody is killing us. We got to find a way to neutralize that first quarter defense. I think if we can find a way to neutralize that the first quarter defense, I think we might be all right. But I'm happy what I seen tonight with our defense, man. For them boys to do what they did tonight, after coming out of the gate like that. But I like some of the things Tibbs and I like that he left Obi Toppin there longer tonight. I was happy about that. I really like that he did that. So I gotta give him his credit for that, man. He let the man play more minutes and he showed improve. I didn't like that he took him out in the last quarter. I understood because he was missing some threes and they needed some 3-point shoot, he thought, so he brought Fournier in. But overall, though, you know what? Tough loss. We'll get back at it, man. We're gonna be at the Garden at 12 o'clock. So on that note, salute to the whole chat, to the panel, Jarvis, Baked Beans, KJ, Shaw Powers, and everybody up in the chat, man. On a night that we lose, man, we still up on these places trying to show and prove. The streets are buzzing. He opened up the platform and when we losing, you know what I mean, and that's love. So we just make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel, man, and know that we in here for you guys. And because we Knicks fans, we just want to get it popping. But y'all make sure y'all support all these streams, all these channels, everybody that's out there. Because we don't have to do this, man. But we love doing it because we Knicks fans. And I'm with Beans. It's frustrated it is, but we just got to get it, man. So salute everybody, man. Y'all have a good night. Let's get it Sunday, man. Let's try to go and get win against Milwaukee. Salute to everybody. Peace.
Yep, salute. Knicks Real Talk. Streets are buzzing. Cousins in the chat. Let's get it on the next one. We'll be back at it Sunday. Peace.